Yo, BJ Gaddour with the BJ Gaddour podcast. And yes, you guessed it. Who else is here?
Oh, hi guys. It's Jeremy Scott. Nice to be here.
You know what's funny, man? I've not recorded a podcast since we last recorded a podcast because I just chopped up what we did into like 5 episodes and just haven't felt like talking, frankly. You know, it's hot out here. I'm really, this is around the time of year too where I really shift my focus to more of my own training. But you know, in that too, you take a break, lots of stuff to talk about. So what's going on with you right now in the summer, man? I just saw you were on a trip.
Yeah, well, actually, I did because I went and I scrolled on what iTunes or Apple, whatever. I'm so old, iTunes, like it's a real thing. Apple the other day, I'm like, when's the last time he did a podcast? I'm like, oh shit, this is the clips from stuff that we did. And to echo your same thing, yeah, there's weeks where I'm just talking into nothing and nobody. The summertime, it's just easier, and my schedule's just been completely fucked. So instead of doing these like we normally do it, like we schedule a guest, we do it on Fridays, whatever. I'm doing them like Wednesday mornings, like at my house, which it just schedule wise, it just works out easier with travel and people and all the stuff we're doing. So I'm just there talking to essentially nobody, which is fine because I don't know how many guests we've had, 300 and some. So half of them are about people and half of them are basically guests. And I'm like, this just seems like you just feel like a complete loser because you're talking to nobody. And I'm like, who the fuck even wants to listen to me talk about like my diet in 2024? And then the amount of messages people just sending in like, oh my God, thank you so much. This is so helpful. And not even about the diet stuff. I guess I'm rambling on about whatever. But the point is like, I have nothing written down. It's my diet. So like, I don't have a sheet. I'm just talking and then my brain will wander and it just goes into fucking nonsense. But to your point, it is hard to get motivated to do those, especially when it's 120 degrees outside and you're like, well, I'm just going to talk to nobody today and hopefully somebody appreciates it. So it's a different art form for sure.
Oh man. Well, you know, here in Palm Springs at the time of recording this, we just hit all-time record high, 124.
I was going to text you actually. It was yesterday, right?
I think it was
2 days ago.
Friday. It was Friday. Yeah. And like it was so hot. Now the pool, it was like a hot tub. So now you can't get cool at all. Though again, like it is a nice way to take advantage of, like, it's not exactly as hot as a hot tub, but it's just below. So you get, you know, the benefits of just getting really warm and loose. But I mean, I think I had a little bit of heat stress from Friday because I sauna, then went into that for an hour. And I just didn't know how. I didn't realize what was happening because it was an exceptionally hot day. And then even Death Valley, they're talking. I mean, they hit an all-time high of 127. They might hit 130 by mid next week. So
bro, that's legit because we got a dry sauna here in the facility now. And
you do?
Yeah. So because D'Lo, long story short, he had one at his house, used it like twice. Super nice, like $5,000. Has a Bluetooth, speakers, all the shit in it, whatever. And he's like, do you want it? I'll have my handyman whenever come drop it off. I'm like, well, fuck, dude. Yeah, we'll take some free shit that you've never used. Maybe he used it maybe naked once or twice, whatever. But like we scrub it down. But yeah, when it gets to, because compared to the wet ones, the dry ones don't have to be as hot to be as effective.
No.
And so when that thing is at 130, like you're cooking, dude. And imagine you're outside or you're in your car. Like, especially like when you live where we live, you get in your car, like right now, if it's 110 outside, your car's 120. Like it's a smoke show. And yeah, to your point, the pool it's not the worst. Like yesterday I went in the pool when I got home and I think it was 111 here. There is relief in it and there's a little bit of a breeze. So you catch something, but you have to constantly dip yourself in the water. It can't be a lot of this half in, half out. And people will complain like, oh, even your pool, you don't get relief. I'm like, bro, go stand in your fucking backyard in no water and tell me how long you can make it. I can sit in the pool for 2 hours, like drink a beer. I can hang out. Like I'll be okay. Standing in my driveway, I'm literally like a candle. I'm just fucking melting. It is the worst.
I mean, before we jumped onto this pod, I did my morning routine is shifting a bit now because it's so hot. Like it is like a sauna outside. So I start with I told you I got those new inversion boots. So I literally hang for about 15 minutes upside down, stretch the spine, do a little ab work, drain my legs, to manage the arthritis in my knees. And then I just did, nice little pool circuit. But again, it's so nice and warm. And again, you can do standing movements that you can't necessarily do in a hot tub itself. So again, it's all perspective, isn't it? Like I take advantage of, like when in the winter, when we don't heat it, it's cold. So I take advantage of it as a cold pool. Like now I don't need my hot tub because it's pretty close. And again, people very easily lose perspective. And again, I think you and I Midwest guys will always just appreciate the heat. Yeah, these are exceptionally hot days. But I prepare for it. That's part of the benefit of using a sauna on, the other seasons, so that I'm not so overwhelmed by the heat stress. And it really has made a difference, in terms of just because when you get hit with heat stress, man, it can cost you a couple days easy. And it hits you so fast and so quick.
Oh no, it'll bury you. You'll forget. It's like when you get so dehydrated, or you have it to the point where like you almost forget. Like I've had it where like I forget kind of like where I'm at, like what city I'm in. Like I'm out here running around. I'm like, where? I'm like, and that's not good. And I'm like, where the fuck am I? You kind of have this moment of like, am I in Rochester, Minnesota? And you're like, no, dude, you're in the middle of the desert. And because we just did I literally have already taken a shower after working out today. We do our Sunday advanced metcons here at 8:00. And just because of how it programmed out, a lot of it was like we did like lunging outside, running outside, like a plate carry outside, and then obviously pop back in. And I'm like literally through the joggers that you guys make and I had an Under Armour and this long sleeve on. Literally could wring it out, just drenched, like just completely dripping. And it's, that's 8:00 in the morning and it's already 100 degrees. But does that suck? Yeah, it's fucking miserable. But I would take it over February in Minneapolis 1,000 times over 1,000, because I still can go outside. I just have to be smart about it. When it's -10, the goal is just to not die. So this definitely is better, even though it's not ideal.
I know you take advantage too of the rucking or the weighted walking. Because I did a 60-pound walk. It's one of those things I was about to do. I'm like, is this the right? Because it was super hot. I'm like, let me test myself today. And halfway through the walk, there's a spot where you can stop for some water and ice and stretch a little bit. Also, like anytime you have like a 60-pound plus vest on, the neck and the traps just get sore. So nice to kind of take it off briefly and keep going. But I'm halfway through that walk, and I'm like, I don't know if I really should have brought the 60-pound vest today. But what I equate it to is it's like probably what it feels like for an astronaut to be in space, like in a spacesuit, like the heat. I feel like I'm in a suit, especially when you put the vest on, and I'll sometimes wear a hoodie just for sun protection. And it's next level, man. But like the breathing benefits, obviously the calorie burn is off the charts, the mental toughness, but there is no one else out there. Like no one comes outside. It shocks me.
No, here you see people early. And then if we ever see anybody like early in the morning, I'm talking like sun comes up here like by 5 now ish, pretty much. And so I'll see people like when I'm driving to work at 4 or whatever, like they're walking by the lake, or even like we live on the canal, there'll be people walking. But if we see someone later in the day, it's like you're a psychopath. Like I was driving. What day was the first day? Was like really hot here. And by the way, 60 pounds on the ruck, dude, is heavy.
Oh yeah.
I'll talk about this later. Like I'm doing a lot of training with it on actually for various movements, but inside, just because like it will wear you down within 45 minutes. Like that thing will weigh on you. So when I do the super hot shit outside, I typically do the plate carrier, and I do maybe like 20, 30 pounds because it's way more doable than that. But the other day I was, what was like 4, maybe it was like 4 o'clock, 4:30. It was like 100, I think it was 110, 109. And I'm driving to this grocery store that I typically never stop at. Heather texts me, hey, can you pick this stuff up? And I'm just driving, and I just noticed this dude is walking down the sidewalk, Scottsdale Road, with what appears to be like a 50+ pound dumbbell. Is legitimate in size, so I imagine it's 50 to 60 pounds, which is not super light. He has just shorts, no shirt on, and he's just walking. And there is not a fucking gym, dude, within, I don't think, a half a mile of where he's at. The closest one I could even think of. Not a CrossFit box, not anything. This dude is just walking down the street, 4 o'clock on like a Friday afternoon with the heavy ass dumbbell. And I'm like, respect to you, dude, because you want it so much more than I do today. Because that is something like I am not like prepared to do right now.
You know, it's funny too, because you talk about because when I put on a 60-pound vest, because I'm like 200, 205 now, it's basically like it was basically what I weighed in college playing football, like 265, 275. So it's just funny because like when I feel that, I'm like, God, I used to walk around like this on the regular. Like this is my body weight. It's crazy, like 20 years ago. And I was talking to my wife too, like most of my life up until this point, I've tried to like keep my body weight below a certain amount, but now I'm at the stage like over 40. It's like I can't allow myself to go under 200 pounds. Like you talk about like shifting goals, bro. Like I know you're probably in the same boat because you start to realize, wow, like just even 5 pounds less makes such a difference on your joints, your energy level, and you start to just feel what it's like the first hour of the day when you wake up over 40.
Yeah, it's with the vest too. Like I will put the 60 on, and I've been doing a lot of the upper body stuff that we do with and like lower rep ranges. Dips still relatively high, push-ups at a deficit, so relatively high with the vest on. Pull-ups typically I'll go like sets of 5 with the 60, and more so because pull-ups were just kind of my thing always forever, except now because my fucking like elbow will hurt, so now I have to be like can't be a dumbass with that. But a lot of my lower body stuff, like the elevated squats, just with the vest on, with the 60 alone. For higher volume stuff, split squats with that on, and so the hand loading doesn't have to be as much. The calf raises, just walking with it, like those things alone, the vest just does make it easier to do your normal workouts. So instead of grabbing, insane dumbbells to do split squats, if you're wearing a 60-pound vest and you grab yourself like some 25s, like the breathing alone is just, you're getting just fucking smoked by it. So I will say it is super beneficial for those things, but 60 does get heavy in a hurry.
There's some great points there. Obviously the heavier the vest is, and especially that 60, it does close down the chest wall. So like it makes it it's like resisted breathing. It's very difficult to breathe with it on. So
I try to barely like cinch it, because it does, like when you start to huff, dude, like the breathing is not very easy.
No, that's why like on the walk in particular, like I usually box breath walk, but I couldn't in the heat and combine with the vest because I just couldn't get enough air in and out early on. It opens up, right? But the other point you mentioned too, and this is just like when I was, when you're younger, you're newer to stuff, you just don't get it. You think like loads have to be so specific and that type of thing. But like all you really need is light and heavy options. Like if you have a lighter and a heavier option, you get like 80, 90% of the benefits of most strength training. Now, a light, medium, heavy is great. But like, do you need 5 pounds or 100 pounds in 5 pound increments? No, you don't. I mean, it's nice to have it, but just like you said, when you put on a vest, you can get a lot of good low rep strength sets in, and obviously get the contrast effect when you take it off. Like you really do feel the neurological, like you do a couple sets of weighted pull-ups and dips and you take them off, and your body weight reps, you just feel like you're flying. And beyond the fact that the way I look at it too is if you're like part of how I've approached it too recently, like I want to look like I have the muscle of someone who's 225, but I want to be 20 pounds less for a variety of reasons. So just wearing 225 pounds or a 20-pound vest in the case, in most calisthenics, it gives you kind of like what you might not get is, I think the only thing you possibly lose is maybe bone density. Like your bones may not be as thick as if you had like hundreds of pounds on your back. Though again, who knows? But that's kind of a mindset now is like, I want to look like I'm 225, but I don't want to weigh 225. I want to be light in real life. So I just think it's a really smart way to train it. It's a way to just simplify it. You don't need to panic about exact weights or loads. And I know I've always been a fan of just relative strength. It's so easy and it just makes it very accessible.
Well, and for that stuff too, like what is the what am I losing if it's not, whatever the number is? Like at some point there's diminishing returns of everything, in the gym and outside the gym. But if I'm doing walking lunges with the 60-pound vest on, like it's like, first of all, walking lunges suck in general. Like they're just not an easy thing to do. With body weight, it's become very efficient. If the volume gets high enough, obviously it starts to smoke you. But why do I have to grab, a 50-pound dumbbell in each hand and do walking lunges and just suffer through not only the muscle damage it's causing, which I'm okay with. I go, but like every time I step, like my right knee is just like, it's like a tight is the word I use is tight. Like I'll squat down to grab a laundry out of my dryer, and it's like my right knee is tight, like it's stiff, or it feels like thicker than the other one. I'm like, this is not, like, the trajectory of this cannot be good. Like if I don't like fucking deal with it, but I need to still do the thing. So it's like you become smarter. And to your point, you don't notice the weight stuff. Like obviously the same thing where I'm struggling just to be like just over 200 pounds. Like it takes, and then because you want to be 200 pounds, but not like you want to be shredded too. So it's like, well, fuck, I'm old. So I still want to be this, but I don't want to be like 210 of like sloppy shit, and sloppy to me is probably different than what other people think of it, but that's the standard that I've set for myself for whatever fucking weird mental reason I have that. So you kind of go back and forth between like, well, how heavy, do I have to load, versus, what's really required. And I wouldn't notice a lot of it until like we do the days like today where it's like I'm running around the building. And the days where I used to be, let's say 215 or something, or even like 220, like probably like my heaviest, like I am much quicker at just over 200 pounds than I was at 220. Now, compared to playing college sports, I'd probably soaking wet $175. I'm a shell of a person that I used to be. So like there's probably a sweet spot there of like, if I weighed like 180, I probably would be like optimal. I go, but I would look significantly different. And there would be a lot of strength loss that happens with that much weight loss at that point. So it really is a weird space where it's like I used to just, hey, I just want to be jacked and big, and then you get older and your stuff hurts and you're like, well, I need to still be big. But like, how big can I be? Like, what's the, where do you draw the Mendoza line of like risk reward? And that's different for everybody, obviously. And again, it's the who can guard Shaquille O'Neal? Well, nobody, but Father Time is the only one that could guard Shaq. And that's kind of how I feel the same way. It's like you're just kind of fighting every day to maintain all of the skills that you like, and you can improve on the mobility and the other things. Like those can get better. I do think forever. It's just those are painful increments to make to like have better hamstring mobility, or be able to do like a full knee over toe kind of like split squat, like perfect range, like all these different things. Those can get better, but everything else essentially just kind of erodes, and you're just trying to. I feel like that you're trying to hang on for dear life a lot of times.
That's why I'm a huge fan of the hang, man. It's much easier. And by the way, same thing with the weighted hangs. If people are short on time, that's the thing. Like for people that get really good at it, they can hang for 2+ minutes. You don't have the time to hang that long in terms of like mixing in throughout the day. Pop the vest on, and make a 30-second hang count, right? So there's all of that. And again, the 200-pound mark to me, just a self-defense thing.
It's arbitrary, yeah, but
I got to be able to defend my family in the coming apocalypse. And just because again, the advantages are, again, we both have different starting points, middle points, and ending points, obviously. But if we're around the same weight, same height, I can say that there's just a lot more, much less stiffness. So there's a much smoother movement skills I can demonstrate now at this age, which is great. Like that's usually not the case as someone gets older. You tend to get stiffer and more locked down. I'm the opposite. I'm smoother, and there's just a good speed, and you can last longer. But there's also just like having been a lineman, if you're 275, I don't care how strong your opponent is at 200 pounds. I mean, that you just can't make up that weight advantage in a toe-to-toe, like grappling, just leaning on, and like you lean up against a 275 guy, like you're going to be exhausted in a minute, and then just fall on top of you, bro. So that's why like 200 pounds, like I could still find a way to, I could lean on someone 275 enough, move around them, and then just try to use some distance and just take them out with some. What are we even talking?
Man, it's life. These are important life things.
Security plan.
Yeah, I want to be just dense enough so I just don't get just rocked anywhere I go all the time. I feel safer in my 200-pound like security blanket. Essentially, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like when I was 275, I didn't even have to bend my knees. You know what I mean? Like I knew when I was standing, I wasn't going to move. Now, if like someone comes close, like I've always had this. If you walk by like edges or hiking, I don't know why it's like a crazy fear that someone's just going to push me off. Like I legitimately will drop my center of gravity walking by someone because there's some freaks out there.
Staggered stance. Yeah, you're right there. Yeah. Bracing. Yeah, I get it.
Or someone like on social media that is like, they finally found me and they want to just end my life. But yeah, one thing I'll suggest to people training in the heat, real simple, man, just freeze a couple bottles of water or Propels or Gatorades and palm cooling. It really does make a difference. Just, right after you exercise or even like between sets, just holding it in the hands can really help you stay in the game. I've seen, I'm like, I think one of the things, this is the first time I saw that Huberman guy, and he was talking about this revolutionary palm cooling device that's like thousands of dollars that apparently allowed someone to do 300 more reps of like body weight movements than the control group, which sounds like absolute bullshit. Because again, like these things never really, like you're not going to get incredible in workout performance benefits. What it really does is just, it helps prevent overheating, kind of lower the body temperature enough by just cooling the blood. But again, it's just like the classic thing of like, let me take something so simple, let me charge thousands of dollars for it and make ridiculous claims, like all these biohackers do. You could just freeze a couple bottles of water. And it is actually, I think it's a little bit more beneficial for them to be slightly thawed so that the outside is liquid. It actually helps you cool. Like if it's just straight ice, it won't be as beneficial as having cold water around the ice in the middle in terms of how rapidly it can cool you. Something about a specific temperature. You guys can Google that and look it up. But again, it's a simple thing you can do between sets, post-workout, just to kind of pull your body down and just jumpstart the recovery process.
And start small, everybody. That's why they have signs here. They close the hiking trails here now because people will try to go hike like right now. And I'm like, dude, it's 113. And if you're from, no offense, like Michigan, and you come out here and you're like, I'm going to hike Camelback today. And I'm like, bro, I'm going to see you in about 45 minutes getting rescued by a helicopter. Like if you're lucky, because like you're not equipped for it and you're not going to make it. And it's different like walking around your neighborhood versus hiking a mountain in the sun where there's no shade and you're just like, you're on your own, dude. You versus the elements, like, and the elements are undefeated.
No, man, the desert is undefeated in the summer. Like just now, this past month, Hajj or pilgrimage for Muslims going to Mecca. It's one of the pillars of Islam that has to be completed, and it's part of the faith. But they just had, because of the extreme heat in the desert, record numbers of deaths just because especially older people, like, they just can't handle the heat. And a lot of those people, they live there or they live in. So man, just the desert is undefeated in the summer. I think a good rule of thumb, if it's over 100 and you're not, especially like if you're not used to it, if it's over 100, you got to keep it 20 minutes or less of exposure before breaking into something, cool, dark environment, hydrating. Because I'll put a limit on myself now as I train for it year round, live in it. I've become very heat adapted. My body is really good at cooling itself. An hour is where I'll top at. Now, if it's 120, I'd probably put a limit of 20 to 30 minutes tops. Again, you don't want to get to the point where it hits you. Just like when you train, like you don't want to empty the tank. You want to leave a little bit left just in case. So you're in the pool pushing it and you gassed out. Now you're in the middle of the pool. How are you going to get out of the pool? You want to exit the pool before you get gassed out. So just, again, it's nice to have some, and then I'd also recommend a day off in between. It's like resistance training in terms of the stress. Like a hard heat workout can set you back a day or two, especially if you're not adapted to it. So if you're going to do a 1 day in the heat, make sure you have 1 day more indoors, cool environment. Otherwise, like within a week, you're gonna absolutely get heat exhaustion.
And when you're out there, just the last thing, and we'll go off the heat breakdown for everybody. But like Heather was just at the track. There's a super nice high school track that's out here, sprinting this morning. Just sent me a picture. She's like, "Oh, I'm so glad I got here and got this done. No one else was here." I'm like, obviously, like when you're out there, and if you're the only person out there, like, and you don't do this regularly, like, there's probably a reason that there's no other humans around. Like, and if there's not, like, that's when it's like, I err on the side of caution, be like, yeah, man, I don't want to die out here by myself exercising.
Absolutely, man. Those are good rules of thumb. Obviously, summertime is also good for. I mean, the NBA is a soap opera. I look at the NBA basically as the best soap opera for men that are into sports, because they have the best free agency and off season. Like in football, football obviously overtakes all sports in America in terms of like reach and audience, but it's pretty dead in the off season, right? Like there isn't the same elements of like player movement. So the off season in the NBA is always pretty exciting to have summer league. I know you wanted to touch on, it's, part of the benefit of, being a Lakers fan is even when they're shitty. That's why, again, I'm a Midwest Lakers fan. I have to preface that. I'm not a Lakers. I'm not like these other guys and gals. Okay. Like, I'm not entitled. We just won a title in 2020. I'm good. I'd like to see them competitive. And the thing is, what's great about the franchise is even when they suck, in fact, sometimes when they suck, they get the most attention. They're always in the conversation. And unlike the Cowboys, they've actually won a lot of championships recent. So I don't know. There's a lot to talk about. There's obviously the JJ Redick hire. We wanted to talk about maybe the worst NBA finals I've seen in memory. And then the whole Bronny James nepotism conversation. So where do you want to kick it?
Yeah, I mean, the finals was by far the worst one that's, I think, like ever existed. Like, I can't, I know somebody here, like, and I talk to humans quite a bit here, so I have conversations, and like, it's painful at times, but I do it, and I'm like, this is the worst finals I've ever watched. And this one kid was like, well, the Lakers Iverson final, where Iverson basically had 50 in game one, he won, and then essentially this gets smoked the next 4 games. I'm like, that's 1,000 times better than this bullshit I just watched. I go, it was Shaq and Kobe for one, and Iverson. And no offense, like Luka, Kyrie, like it's all great, but it's not amazing to watch. And I'm not a Celtics fan. Like, I don't really care for it. And again, I'm not like, they're all great players. They're all in the NBA. They're super talented, and I'm not trying to bag on Tatum here, but it was the cringiest fucking like plagiarism tour of celebrating I've ever seen, of like, let me just take, and again, respect, dude, you're a savage, like, you're great, but copy everybody else's like celebration and just like mash it up into your own. It just makes me like dislike the Celtics. Even I was never a Celtics fan to begin with, like Larry Bird is Larry Bird, and I get it that you won 1 million championships 5,000 years ago when there was 4 teams in the league, and that's great, but I don't care to watch you guys. And then every game is a blowout. Like, none of the games are competitive. It was the worst. I had way more fun watching like the Timberwolves, like obviously, like, play the Nuggets or play anybody for that matter. So it just was it was a letdown for me for sure. The whole season was legit, and then I'm like, it's kind of a shitty finals.
No, it was rough, man. Again, I think the Tatum example, like, I texted some friends, you just can't manufacture joy, because it was an unimpeded championship. At every round on the opposing team, a star player was injured or out. Now, that's part of the game. But it just kind of blows my mind that like people always like discount the bubble championship the Lakers had, because it was done without fans in an isolation, versus like this was truly, again, Boston was the best team from the beginning of the season to the end of the season record-wise. they're the best top six players in the league in terms of lineup. It's so deep. Like, honestly, I think Porzingis could be their best player. If I'm just honest about it, he's obviously the hardest matchup of anyone on the roster. But I mean, that's why like Tatum was like Kevin Garnett, like emotional. It was like, and it is like that was in the moment. It wasn't planned.
Well, and he played for the Timberwolves for 500 years, and they sucked for 498 of the years. He had 2 like decent teams, and the entire time he's there, goes to Boston and finally wins, like after being in the league for 20 years. And then obviously has this moment. It's not a knock on Tatum. Bro, you've been to like 10 finals or like 10 Eastern Conference finals, and you've been in the league for 10 years. Like the kid he's 12 years old. Like he's literally been like, how many playoff games has he played at 25? Like 1 million. Like you got into a great situation and a great team. It's like, it's not the same for you when you say it, because it's like, okay, cool. Like you, and I'm not trying to knock him, but like KG's was real because like he ate shit for so long. It's like you that's the difference where you see it and it's like, now I got to watch this shit. And then like, and because like I do watch Dave Portnoy's pizza reviews on Barstool, and he's a diehard Celtics fan. So now I got to see all that bullshit too. And so I'm just watching this, like kind of the rich get richer. I'm like, it would have been better if like the Mavericks could have won, like, because they historically don't win. They won once, like this miracle championship. And I'm like, it would have been better for me to not see this. But the entire thing was just a shit show.
Yeah, look, a championship is a championship, and injuries are part of it. But yeah, I mean, his overall, like you said, the plagiarism tour, it really looked like manufacturing the joy of winning a championship, because it's like, wait, this is it? Because he wanted it so bad in the previous times when there was actually like true opposition competition. And even getting back to what we were talking about too earlier, just about the impact of just even 5 or 10 pounds. Obviously, Luka was injured. He had a bad wheel the whole playoffs. But like I texted you, I think he's got to go low carb for the summer. You know, it's like that dude has to take 20 pounds off his frame and just get his cardio to a whole new level. Because once he does that, it's likely game over.
Well, because they just lost, right? The other day they lost to Greece, I think, for the Olympic stuff. And I think the stat was on there, like how many games he's played in the last 11 months. It was some crazy number. It was like 112 or 13 basketball games, which is for people who don't know, it's fucking insane, by the way. That your body, I couldn't even imagine. I probably played the most in a year, like legit games, 30 some, like probably 35 maybe. And I just remember my body, and this, I'm a young kid, and I weigh 2 pounds. I felt like just a bag of shit. 2 weeks after the season, I'm fucking reverse dunk, like dunking off my right leg, like doing shit that I couldn't do 3 weeks ago just from the rest you have alone. So this dude weighs whatever he weighs, 240. I don't know. He's a big dude. And to play that many games, and again, he's a young guy. And I just don't think you can go that long weighing that much with that weight. It's not LeBron weight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like LeBron has this frame of, he's wide, but he's not deep. Like he's not, you know what I'm saying? Like where Luka is just, Luka is not a lean dude. And a lot of that weight is not helping you and is not necessary. Like, especially the way that he plays. Like if you're Jokic, it's probably a little different. He runs half a mile an hour and he just barely has to move. And it's like, he's not a point guard. Like Luka is doing it's so much work the entire game. So every step you take, every time you jump with 20, 30 extra pounds, like that shit'll wear you down over time. And so of course you're going to have like nagging injuries that are going to stack up, especially when you're 25. What will happen when you're 30? Like I couldn't imagine. Yeah, no, that's what it's a Zion example as well. And I hope he does. Because again, I really thought it would have been a different finals if he was just in shape, uninjured. But regardless, I mean, it's not like Boston's going to be going anywhere. They just signed, they have $1 billion roster now.
based on the signings in the offseason. So, and they've also, I think, it's my opinion, I prefer the way the NBA was. It's not just nostalgia. I think I prefer super teams, frankly. I don't like how it's like they're trying to make like it's the NCAA tournament where anybody can win any given night. It's too stressful, bro. Like in the West right now, there's like 20 playoff teams.
It's crazy.
Like,
I know.
there's only 15 teams allowed. There's 20 playoff teams. But so yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do. But what about what do you think about the JJ hire?
I mean, I like him. Like I'm not a Duke fan, but you'd watch them because they just historically. I don't watch college the way like I used to anymore. It's hard. It's just the conference changing is. This could be a whole podcast together. Like, dude, Washington is in the Big Ten. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, Washington is going to play Rutgers on a Tuesday night in a college game. Like, what is the girls' soccer team doing? Like I just think of shit like that now, where it's like Oregon is in the Big Ten. Like, okay, and ASU is in the Big 12. Like, it's hard to keep track. The kids change schools every 10 minutes. So it's like, oh, it's senior night, but these guys have played here for 5 minutes. So I don't watch it like I used to at all. But back in the day, like I would follow college football and basketball like religiously. So all the Duke teams from probably Hurley, Leitner, Grant Hill, all the way through, like until like probably till like shortly after I was done, like 2005, 6, 7, I'd watch them. So Redick was the dude. Like he's a McDonald's All-American. Like he could fucking shoot, and like he would be relatable because he's a white guy and I'm a white guy, and he's like not super athletic, and I'm like as athletic as I can be. You know, it's all comparable, right? To the guys you play with. Like I'm an athlete to like the fucking dudes I hang out with here, but compared to like some of the dudes I played with, fuck no, dude. Like they're doing savage shit I could never do. I'm like, oh, here's a white guy who can crush, and I'm a white guy. So like there was this relatability, and I was always a fan of him. And in the NBA, he had a good career for what it was. Like I think he was better than I thought he would be, because typically, you know, 6'4" white dudes who can't really jump don't play that long in the NBA, even if you're a specialty player. And again, I like him as an announcer. As a coach, I would bet my entire life savings like it doesn't make it to 4 years. I would bet everything I fucking own in the world he doesn't make. I don't just mean him. I just think anybody. I don't care who the fuck it is. I don't think there's a human you could have hired like that would make it the next 4 years, and they're going to keep him. They'll be super happy with him. He won't get crushed or get fired in 4 years. It just feels like unless they just stop giving a fuck, which the Lakers don't do that. And they're just to become real. They fire people for almost no reason, or like because somebody doesn't, I don't know. It just seems like it's an impossible job. So, I mean, you have to take it, I guess, because it's like, when is it going to ever come around to you again? But I think it's tough because the expectations are always like, we need to win championships and be great, but you guys need so many pieces to be awesome. So I think it's like, and it's just it's like a TMZ shit show. Like it's every day is going to be about the Lakers, whether they win or they lose or they play bad. It's like everything is the end of the world. And it's like, well, there's 82 games, bro. Like chill the fuck out.
Yeah, no, they do take it to a whole new level. And again, as someone who watched literally every game, including preseason, I can testify to the fact that their previous coach was problematic. I mean, really questionable lineup choices. He'd wait. People would go on a 21-0 run before he'd call a timeout. Literally every coach in the league, after 2 or 3 consecutive scores, you call a timeout, you reset. Especially in this league, like you can get ran out of the building within a couple minutes, especially at the end of quarters against good teams. He was just slow to react. And again, it's also just once you lose a locker room, you know, like that's the thing. Like once you lose a locker room, it's over. And so I think from the standpoint of was it a good hire? I think based on all the available candidates, worst case scenario, it's like I said, it's the best male soap opera on TV. He's done in a year, and then they get rid of Palenka and then revamp the front office, because obviously the front office has some questions too. Best case, he does usher in a new era for the team. You know, he's just young enough. Like he retired a couple of years ago. I think he's got a better vibe on what the current players like are looking for and what they need. He's going to bring. I mean, has he ever failed at anything he's done?
No, I mean he's from a young kid till now, like he's won pretty much everywhere. Like the NBA stuff, no, but like talent wise for what he has, yeah, it's been great. It just would be tough to. It's the whole Le GM thing. Like LeBron's really the coach, bro. Like it would just suck, dude, because it's like you're the coach, but like you're not really the coach, and like you're making calls, but LeBron's like, no, because you can't change how you are, and I'm sure Jordan like would listen to Phil, as much as he would listen to Phil, but you're at some point like Jordan's just Jordan. He's gonna be like, Phil, super cool, fuck you, I'm gonna do Michael Jordan shit. And sometimes I think that would just be what Phil would say. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, we're gonna do this, but Michael's just gonna do Michael shit. And as long as but LeBron's not that dude anymore. Like he's still fucking great, but you're not. It's hard to. We all come to grips with that. Like I'm not like in everything in life, dude. Like when I go play basketball, I'm not. It's been a long fucking time since I was that guy. And there's this slow reality that creeps in your head of like, well, I can still do this, but I'm not that version of that anymore. And what do you do when LeBron just gets pissed? And like, because LeBron like would scream at the coach last year. Like he would do it all. But it's what he does. So like your friends, like JJ and him are friends, but now LeBron's like screaming at you, except it's not like in a private gym. It's on fucking ESPN, and it's in front of 20,000 people in an arena. Like it's a weird dynamic, man. It would just be tough. And then the players are like, well, who's the coach? Is LeBron the coach? Is JJ the coach? Like I know they don't think that. I go, but people that's what I think anyway, at least from the outside.
Well, it was AD that really, his comments after one of the Denver games where we don't know what we're doing on either side of the floor. That was because like he is their best player right now, without a doubt. He's their best two-way player.
At the death sentence when he said that. It was over.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that was it was a team-wide sentiment. This wasn't just LeBron getting a coach fired because they didn't connect. He didn't connect with anyone in the locker room. And we get I have Spectrum here, so we get all the backstage Lakers stuff, and they show some of the practices, and Darvin Ham's just in the back with his hands in his pockets, and LeBron is literally coaching the team out on the floor. So look, man, like he seems like an awesome guy. I think it's great that he's back in Milwaukee as an assistant, and I'm sure he'll get another head coaching opportunity down the road. But you want to be a Lakers head coach, you got to be a face. You got to be a communicator. You got to be able to handle the press. Your answer to every post game isn't we have to play harder. There has to be some strategy. You got to call some fucking timeouts. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you got to coach.
There's got to be some in-game adjustments at halftime. I think the crazy thing about it too is very likely in the beginning of the season, they might go on like a 3 to 5 game losing streak and his job might be on the line. Though again, the reality is I think he's going to get more of a leash just because Pelinka is all about self-preservation. So if he can't afford for the JJ Redick experiment to not go well. This is going to be his 4th coach in 6 years. So he's as much on the line as Redick. So it's going to be fascinating, man. But I will say the other complaint too was that the players didn't feel Ham came prepared. He wasn't doing the preparation, for each game. And I don't think that's going to be the case with Redick. Redick is a OCD, he's going to live it, breathe it. They've got pretty good assistant coach roster now of head coaches to help them out. It's gonna be fascinating. Again, that's the same. Like this is like people don't understand. Well, they do, but like this is entertainment. It's a business. It's about making money. I think it was a good move from that standpoint, and they're a better team than they're getting credit for. It's a pretty solid roster. They got to the Western Conference Finals a year ago with the same roster. Denver is that's one thing about basketball or the NBA. It is a lot like boxing, the styles piece of it. Like,
Matchups, dude, are everything.
yeah, I think the Lakers could have gone easy Western Conference Finals had they not ran into Denver. But unfortunately, that was the draw. And so I don't know. I mean, obviously, the latest piece is, and this is so multi-tiered too, and I've got a lot of thoughts. I know you do too. The whole, they did. I still didn't think it actually was going to happen, but it has. They drafted Bronny James at 55. I've got my thoughts. I'll let you kick it off with because this is just such a. It's so polarizing. It's like very serious. A 19-year-old kid whose heart stopped a year ago.
Yeah, it's I mean, end of the day, like nepotism has existed in the NBA at every level forever. This is not a new thing at all. There's a lot of kids who got into the league and could stay in the league, like, and get coaching jobs and front office jobs and even like play in the league longer because their dad did and whatever. And like that's life, dude. That's every fucking corporation. And I mean, it's who you know. That's sometimes just is the game, bro. I'm not saying he's not good. The college thing is tough because like you watch guys on USC average, 17 a game and he averages 4 a game and they don't get drafted and he gets drafted. But that's the NBA is a lot of it's off potential and different shit like that. And then the day, it is a business. And if you can put asses in the seats, like that's what matters. I always go back to the UFC, dude, is, prime Conor is one of the best fighters you'll ever see in the world. Conor of the last 5 years is not that guy. Conor today, I don't know if he ever fights again, but if he does, it's the biggest fucking draw that's ever fucking existed. And is he a top contender at 55 or 70? Fuck no. But he sells more tickets than everyone, and it's not even close, dude. So like, you can't discount that stuff. And I'm not saying Bronny does that. I go, but his dad does that, and them together it's the shittier version of Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. The difference is that Griffey Jr. was fucking the shit, and the dad was just like hanging on, and Bronny's not Ken Griffey Jr. So, do I think he gets drafted there if his dad is not LeBron? Nah, absolutely not. Like, no. I always tell people if you took off, and you can't do this, but if you just took off the faces and the names and the jerseys, and you just shared the stats, and you could watch them play, there's no fucking way, dude. Like that's the test I would always give you. If LeBron put on, like, if he could do like whiteface or something, right? Like he just like became a white guy and you saw him, you'd be like, this dude belongs in the fucking, because it just moves different. Like everything is different. If you saw Bronny, you'd be like, oh, he's good, but he's not. The NBA, again, I'll go back to the Ali Mo from the N1 tour quote. Like, and they asked him, like, hey man, are you mad you're on the N1 tour, not in the NBA? He's like, the NBA is hard. He's like, the NBA is hard, dude. He's like, I'm happy just that I'm able to do this. And that's how I think of it, is like, of all, like, there's been 5,000 dudes to ever play in the league, ever in the history of time, 5,000 guys. And now you're one of them. It's just, there's so many good dudes that are out there that are not in the league. So, but hey, like, if he does what he's supposed to do, like, he'll make the team, and I guess he already signed a deal, so he's going to be on the team. But it's tough for him. He's 19 years old. You had a heart issue. Your dad's fucking LeBron. And so every time you check into the game, bro, people are looking to just hot plate the shit out of you. And it's like, you're just going to get cooked. Like, if you can't do it, it's really hard. I would imagine, like, for him he checks in and it's like, oh, you're checking fucking Drew Holiday. Fucking nightmare, bro. Like, I'm happy for him, but it's a tough place to be, because it's like, if you've ever played sports, especially basketball, because it's a more intimate thing. It's you're there with the dude, and you clearly can tell when someone is better than you. Like, and now you're playing against 30-year-old men that are really fucking good, bigger, stronger, faster, more talented, the footwork. It's just like, I couldn't imagine, dude, I'm playing in a game and I get switched on fucking DeMar DeRozan and I'm 15 feet from the basket and I'm like, oh, barbecue chicken, dude. Like, you're not even there. So it'd be interesting, but the NBA is going to be tough, dude, especially for him. He's got a target on his back every night. That's a tough, and you're on the Lakers. Like, there's so much. He has all not the same hype as LeBron, but you're getting all of the attention that he got, except you don't have the one thing LeBron has, like this once in a fucking not a lifetime, once and forever, freak show, athletic, all the tools, and you just don't have the tools.
So I'm in agreement with almost everything you said. I mean, look, here's the reality. I think if you ask anyone, again, you got to be honest with yourself too about this, right? So you have a kid, and you could use your influence to ensure your kid got a good opportunity. And by the way, like, it's not like this guy is trash.
No, he's good. He's great.
He had a 41-inch vertical. He shot 19 out of 25 on three-pointers. He had a really good combine. He was a top 30, scouted out of high school. And again, like, he didn't just have a heart issue. His heart stopped. It's going to take you a full year to kind of recover, not just physically, mentally, like to be able to feel comfortable pushing yourself, to that point. Yeah, he is undersized. But I always go, look, even if he doesn't get one of those like Dennis Rodman growth spurts where like Dennis Rodman's like 22 and 6 feet and he grows 8 inches over a summer and becomes like out of nowhere, one of the greatest defensive players to ever play in the NBA. I think he might grow a little bit yet, number one. Number two, he's a freakish athlete. This guy is, he's out there doing between the leg dunks at 6'1". Incredible bounce. Defensively, I don't think he's got a very high ceiling defensively. Like, I watched him play yesterday, the first summer league game, and he's still like, when you go to the next level, you have to have good feet. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can get away with crossing your feet and being more upright in high school, even college, but like even get to the G League level, you got to have a wide base. You got to move your feet. You can't let him cross. Once he gets like those movement mechanics down, and if he adds, like, look, what happens if he grows a couple inches? And by the way, I think it's a realistic plan. That's part of it too. Is like you mentioned, the college game is just, it's kind of a disaster. Like, and if you really know you want to play basketball, I'm not anti-education, but the reality is going to the G League is a better way to develop your basketball game than to have to go to school, deal with kids, the academic piece, all that stuff. Like this, you can really focus on this, and you're playing against higher level competition. So if he does that route in 2 to 4 years, grows, like, again, he's a baby. He's a 19-year-old. So to me, it's like a baseball investment. You're getting these guys super young, and so again, but by the way, like, if it doesn't work out, he's going to be humiliated. So this other side of the coin, it's not like this is a risk-free proposition. He did secure an $8 million bag, but he was a millionaire from the licensing stuff already, beyond the fact that his dad's a billionaire. But
what's $8 million to your dad who's $1 billion? You know what I'm saying? Like, even if your dad's a cheap ass, like, he's going to throw you $20 million just for the fuck of it. I mean,
like, what would you do if it was your son? Would you not secure? Because again, it's a great story. It's a great story too. And the Lakers, again, the reason they're always part of the conversation is they always seemingly have the best stories in the league. But it can absolutely go sideways for sure.
Selfishly, like, it's you're LeBron. Like, so you're now you've been a one-name person for the longest time. So I always say that if you're a one-name person, there's a certain amount of like ego that you have that will never go away. Like, you're fucking Jordan's not even MJ. You're just initials. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different thing. And so with that, like, well, yeah, my kid now plays in the NBA. So I'm the first dude ever. Like, that's what for him selfishly, like that, whether he says it or not, I'm sure he has, like, that's a huge thing he wanted to do, to become that guy. Like, this is a legacy thing. I'm going to put it in here. And if it's your kid, yeah, bro, it's what you do. Like, if you had a kid, dude, and he could work for you and he could fucking do fitness for a living and make a shit ton of money, like, you would probably, you would tell him not to do this life, obviously, but if we did something that was more fun, you for surely would do it. You would give them an opportunity. Well, especially if they want to do it. They're like, hey, if I had a fucking kid and he's like, I want to do fitness, I'd be like, you're fucking nuts, dude. They're AI bots are going to do all this in 5 years. So stop doing this shit. I go, but if I could set him up somewhere and do something, I for surely would do that. Just like I'm sure my dad would have done it for me if he could have done the same thing. But to your point, if it doesn't work, that sucks, dude, because you can't, like most kids, dude, you're 19. I couldn't imagine, dude, I'm not that smart now. At 19, dude, I was a fucking dummy. And I could make a lot of mistakes and I could fuck up a lot of stuff in my life and no one would really notice and no one would really see it. And so I couldn't imagine you're having to become a man and do that on a public stage in front of all your peers and in front of the entire world, essentially. And if you do suck, you have to mentally somehow climb out of that pit, however you do. Yeah, again, it's perspective. I go, you're still, a millionaire and your dad's LeBron, whatever. I go, but you have to live in that shadow, just like Jordan's kids. You got to go fuck one of your teammates, wives now and marry them. And like, what I'm saying? Like, there's some weird shit that comes with that where you're never going to, no matter what he does, it doesn't matter how good he is, dude. If he ends up being an NBA All-Star and, he does whatever, you're never going to be your dad. Like, there's nothing you can do to get out of that shadow. That's its own. I couldn't imagine, bro, like how that would feel as a person. Like when you wake up and you're 19, you're like, no matter what I do, I will never be half as good as what my dad did. Half. He won't score half the points. Like probably won't win half the championships. Like it's insanity. Like when you really think about like, that's like you're Jordan's kids. Oh, my dad's Michael fucking Jordan. Oh, okay. Like no matter what I do, I suck. Like it would be I never lived with that. And just thinking about it now would be real rough.
My favorite meme of the whole thing was that LeBron's new teammate came out of his nutsack.
That's fucking great. Like that's like, to me, like that's a crazy, it's insane, bro. Like there's a testament to him, like just how he's a once and forever person, dude. It's crazy. And so I'm happy for him. I think it's cool. It's a cool thing. It's just, there's a lot of pieces to that, man. The NBA is real tough, and it would just be hard to have to fail publicly or even try to just to do well publicly. And there's really no privacy in your life whatsoever. And there's really no, everything. Again, he's on ESPN's fucking Instagram, and they're showing his first like points. You're the 55th drafted person. Like the guy who got drafted 50 is like, what the fuck, dude? Like I scored 8 points and no one gives a shit about me. So there is that thing that you have to live with where every time you check in, people are going to be like, fuck you. You're only here because like your dad got you here. Like, and I'm sure LeBron prepped him for that and he's used to that. But the whole thing is, it's cool to watch. It's entertaining for sure. And it's neat. Yeah, but it's definitely weird.
I mean, the reality is most 50-something picks are out of the league or never make it in the league. So
they never play a game.
They never play a game. If he makes the team, ends up just getting as a on the roster, frankly, or especially as a rotation player, it's a success. Though again, like you said, it's all about how you look at it, right? I think so. Saying all that, is he better just to like do nothing?
No, I dude, if I'm him and I love basketball, that's your dream. Like he's not bad. Like he's a pro. He might be an NBA pro, but he's a pro basketball player, no matter how you slice it. And he's practiced his entire life. He's freakishly athletic. He's had the best trainers, coaches, nutritionists. He's had the greatest environment. Like he's bred to, and he's, this genetic from the freak of the freaks. So he's obviously bred to do this. It's just, I look at like even the Timberwolves, like they have, who is it? The fucking Iowa kid, Luke Garza, whatever. He was a college national player of the year. He plays junk minutes. He's 7 feet tall. He can shoot threes. He plays garbage minutes. Imagine that. I think he's 7 feet. Someone can Google it, but he's real close if he's not 7. And he can shoot threes. And he plays trash minutes for the Timberwolves. Imagine some guy shows up to your lifetime league and he's 7 feet tall and he can just bang threes. Like he would score 1,000 points and he would be undefeated. He'd be the greatest of all time. That's how hard the league is. Like that's the standard. And it's only gotten more freaky and athletic and just, it's a crazy just to watch. So no, I think it's the right thing that he's doing. I think it's awesome that he's there. And, if he can make it, the thing it's getting into like getting drafted and that stuff might be kind of bullshit because your dad got you to do it. But at the end of the day, like I'd like to believe like it's a meritocracy in the NBA. And like for the most part, there's some dudes who shouldn't be there, and they should be out of the league, and there's other dudes that should be in the league, whether that's behavioral problems or there's like pain in the ass, like a Michael Beasley type shit, where it's like, well, we don't want to deal with Beasley, but should he have been in the league longer? Fuck yeah, dude. Like, he was killing people forever, but there's a lot of stuff that comes with him. If he shows up and he's not a problem, he's polite, he does the right things, can we get this guy in the league? Sure. But overall, if you're good enough, you're gonna be there. And if you're not good enough, you're not gonna be there. So that's kind of how I see it. So if he does make it, it'd be pretty sick for sure.
Yeah, look, it's gonna be fun to watch. And what's interesting too, because we got the Olympics coming up, and you saw the USA team, and I'm looking at USA team roster, and again, you and I grew up during the Dream Team, who many consider the greatest team of all time. But then, if you actually look at the rosters, I'm thinking about this as we're doing this recording. Like, wow, can you imagine that matchup? Like, I don't know who's going to start, but let's say it's LeBron, Steph, Embiid, Davis, Durant. I mean, and then what was the starting five on 92? It was Jordan, Pippen. Was it
Magic? Magic, Barkley, Robinson.
I mean, how would that team go head to head?
The game is so different too. The only thing I would have loved, this is just in a perfect world, and this is what dudes do. We talk fantasy sports. That'll never happen. Just take Leitner off that fucking team and put Shaq on it, bro. Like, even just to next level. So Leitner is never on there, and just put Shaquille O'Neal on there and just murder. It's different too, because that team.
That wasn't the same Shaq.
No. It was, but he was still like, rookie Shaq was awesome, but he wasn't. Yeah. He wasn't Lakers three-peat Shaq by any means. But also, that's what I'm saying. Like this is not prime LeBron by any means. It's not prime KD, honestly, either. And that wasn't prime Magic. Magic was already, he was good, but he's not. That's not prime Magic. Like, some of those guys were not like in it. Like in Bird, like Bird wasn't still Bird. So I always like to go, like, if you could take the prime dudes versus prime dudes, I will always go with like the Jordan teams. I just think you can give Jordan a bag of shit and he'll make it work. But it'd be tough too, because again, there's so much size. Like, these dudes are so big now, and they're so skilled, and they can shoot at a clip that those guys aren't used to. But also, the game was different, where if you're telling me you can't touch any of these dudes at all, like you can't touch Michael at all, I just don't. He's just a problem for everybody. Like, it's not about, like, they'll say like, oh, like LeBron's bigger than Michael and this. I go, you got to understand, this fucking dude averaged 37 points a game when you could basically punch people in the face. Like, what are we talking about? Like, insanity, bro. Like, it's insane to watch. And I couldn't imagine them in these rules and those guys in those rules. Like, it would just be that's why I say, people, it's a different ball game. And I love Luka. Luka cries, dude, 45 times a game. It actually takes away from how great he is, because he misses plays on defense. In the 90s, that didn't happen. Like, I'm not saying they didn't complain, but when they complained, it was legitimate. Like, they got the shit kicked out of them. So many of those things were not even fouls. So I would love to watch it for sure in a perfect world, but it'd be tough, because like, how do you deal with Kevin Durant, bro, in 1992? Like, it'd be like, who is this fucking alien on the court? Like, what is he doing? I mean,
Steph Curry, especially the way the international game is played, like with it's so much movement, and I know it's going to be really fascinating. I'm looking forward to watching it. I mean, it's a really solid squad. Yeah, there's some guys past. There's always going to be guys past their prime on an Olympic team, and they're there more for leadership experience. But it's a pretty solid squad, because again, everyone on the roster everyone can shoot threes in that starting lineup.
Well, again, you don't have to play 40 minutes either. Like, that's the benefit of it, is where like you can get, is the best version of LeBron you're going to get for the 18 minutes he's going to play, which is probably perfect. It's the same thing. And again, if he's not doing great, you can always swap the dudes in and out. And everyone, they're big, man. They're athletic. And like, again, if you can get Kawhi to like be healthy and he can play, 20 minutes, like that's a fucking great option. So that's the benefit, is like you just have so many savages on one team.
It'll be fun to watch. Shifting from basketball to Peloton, and overall, like I guess fitness,
The
fitness
economy, the economy in general.
the economy. We won't get into politics, but obviously there's all that tumult on the way as well with an election season. But I recently texted you an article. I mean, there's been anytime I get Peloton news, it just excites me because it's always bad news. But and again, I like we joked about too, like we rarely wish, because we're business owners. At least I think I am. Maybe I'm not. We'll see at the end of the year. But the reality is, it's tough, and you never want to see someone go out of business. And there's always exceptions to that rule, in my opinion, especially when it's just a conglomerate, a marketing machine, that just like does everything, in my opinion, the wrong way. It's, celebrity focused, influencer focused. It's fitness for the rich. It's big fitness,
Oh, yeah. Now, I don't want to interrupt you, but you did send me the, I think you sent to me and David Jack. That wasn't Lifetime. Did you send me the Lifetime membership thing, or was that not you? It was like to be a member, to get this, like, maybe it wasn't you.
Oh no, it was Equinox. Equinox had that new,
but it was like, was it a year 20 grand or more?
I think it was
a lot.
4,000 a month.
So like 50 G's a year. It was something crazy.
Yeah.
I would do, like, you would meet with a trainer, you get like one massage every so often, like you could talk with a nutritionist, all this bullshit stuff. Not bullshit, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 50 grand.
Yeah, no, and that's, again, this is what happens with, again, that's why we're talking about what's happening in the fitness industry, but this is kind of across the board, right? Where the middle gets squeezed, and all you can then really look to offer are discounted or free stuff for the masses, and like inflated prices for the rich who won't even feel it. And that's kind of where you see some trends going, right? Like, and all they're doing is taking advantage of all the things that Equinox has to offer and just putting it together in this kind of irresistible package, this holistic package. And they even have like some things with, like, because again, I don't mean to like make fun of people, but it's like, it's really easy to like, and I sent you a YouTube video today and of this huge YouTube guy in fitness, and he just claims that everything he does is through science, whatever the fuck that means. So you take one research study and use it as an example of what you're talking about in your video, and suddenly your fitness shit is based through science. So biometric stuff, that just tricks people into thinking that, oh, this is like an advanced program. It's like what I need. This is what I'm missing because it's going to give me some fucking numbers, stuff that I can't see when I look at myself in the mirror, or when I bend over to pick something up, and how I feel. Like, to me, it's just like, again, but part of that too is you and I are so far removed from what someone who is deciding today to make a change in their health and fitness and where to start, right? And that's honestly, like, that's the unfortunate part of like the track you and I are on, is that it just gets more and more difficult to understand what that's like the longer we're doing this, and and I guess the best way you can relate to that is to try to take on new experience outside of fitness and think, oh yeah, this must be what it's like. Like, if I'm trying to build something and I'm not a builder, this sucks. How do I start?
You don't know where to start, and you're listening to, again, it's why you can't listen to 10 podcasts, dude. Like, it's way too much information. Even if you could, what can you do with all the information? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a fucking moron on go, but I can't listen to 10 different things of like, this has to be part of your morning routine, your evening routine, or do these things throughout your day. I have the bandwidth that's only so much to do what I can do in my life, to take care of my family and all the things that I have to do outside of just like exercise. yet you're loading these people up. Like, you got to do all these things. Even the trackers, right? Like, I'll wear one. I do it to do the sleep. And it's just like a guide. Even though, like, and sometimes I'll be awake and it's like, because I'm just chilling super hard, it's like, you're asleep. And I'm like, no, actually, I'm not, fuckface. Or to say, like, you slept really good, but I wake up and I feel like a bag of shit. So it's like, you take the things, they're tools, and they're meant to be used in a certain way, but not to essentially use you. And that's what people are doing, where it's like, it's just this abundance of, you're just getting drowned. And I'm going to go back to the Equinox thing you sent me. All the stuff they listed, you have to be a fitness person to even like to comprehend all that stuff. Meaning, like, you have to already love the gym and like love this process. That's not something that somebody just walks into. Even if you're like somebody who's obviously rich and you have disposable income, you're not going to go from like not exercising to, okay, now I'm going to, unless you're just an all or nothing person and that's your mentality. But I doubt it. If you're 46 years old and you're like, you know what, I'm a bag of shit. Now I want to be super fit. I'm going to meet with a trainer twice a week. I'm going to meet with a massage person once a week. I'm going to meet with this nutritionist. I'm going to get access to this and this and this. And like, you really would have to have somebody like hold your hand and walk you through all of that stuff. That's not like when we talk about like what you do every day, and we'll get into it, and like what I do, that didn't happen overnight. What I do at, in my 40s is nowhere near what I did when I was 25. I still exercise and there's movements that are the same. I go, but they're two different. That's a fucking 20-year progression of trial and error and learning my body as I go. And you're just throwing these people kind of into that, and they have no clue where to start. And now I couldn't imagine, because when we started, it was, let me read Muscle and Fitness, watch Pumping Iron, and just, have Rocky play as my motivation. Like, that was how we did fitness. Now it's like, there's you, there's me, there's 10,000 other people, plus the corporate bullshit that's essentially paralyzing these people to have no clue even where to begin on the journey.
Yeah, man. And again, like, you see an offering like that, and then you see just the Peloton example, right? And again, like, they kind of are, you can consider them a bellwether, I guess, right? That they're kind of a leader in terms of a household name in fitness, streaming, but they're like on the side of like all the negative trends. Like, streaming, it's not dying. It's not going to die, but like, there's too many streamers. So they're going to all get collected, and there's going to be a couple big streamers by the end of this, probably, like it always seems to happen. But stock price went from like, don't quote me on this, but I sent it to like $160 to $2.
I think it was under $2. It was crazy. It was a crazy number. It was like it was super high. And I'm like, Jesus. Cause then I think it was like I don't know if she was the CFO or she was the CCO or something. It was like, she sold off most of her shit, or all of her stock.
Yeah, invested 90% of her stock. And then they're also now, again, but this always happens, right? You see it happen in ESPN. And if you were watching the NBA Finals broadcast, it was not like it was last year in terms of entertainment. And you get cheap with talent, and they're getting cheap with their talent. Their instructors are now leaving, and I'm sure they think, oh no, it's the bike that's going to keep people here in the tech. And no, it's the people, it's the personalities that are going to drive, like it always has in fitness. So it's just like, it's that same story again, like where you just see all that writing on the wall, and someone will come and eat them up, and they'll probably always remain a player in that space in some way, but it's going to probably change pretty dramatically.
No, they'll limp along. I mean, cause I texted Dave Jack and you, I go, I was surprised it took that long, honestly. And I really am. Cause it's not a knock on them. And maybe cause I'm not a fan, like, we ride the bikes here, like in the increments we do, like if we do longer stuff, it's like we do like a 5K or something, or a 10K on the bike. Like a 10K on the erg bike here is like 20 minutes if you're fast. And we do that as part of like a protocol, and it sucks, dude. It's fucking super boring. I don't love it. Even if there was a screen on and it was playing fucking Dark Knight Rises, like it's only cool for so long. And the fact that people bought these overpriced bikes with a bunch of tech on it, don't take this the wrong way, anybody. It's not what fit people do. Like, it's not what athletes do, bro. And I don't mean like an old guy like me. I mean, like, Tyreek Hill is not getting on a fucking Peloton, dude, to get super fit. Deion Sanders was not getting on a Peloton, like, to become Deion Sanders. Like, and I know you're not trying to be that. I go, but you are. You're trying to be your version of Deion Sanders. You're trying to be the fittest version of you. And it's just, again, I sitting in flexion all day after sitting in flexion all day just doesn't seem like a smart take. So the fact that it made it essentially, what is it, 5 years, give or take? When did Peloton start? 2019, 2018, or before?
I mean, they were, I want to say mid 20 teens, like.
But then it's 2020 is when it fucking went, because we're COVID bullshit, and it got
and by the way, that was the whole as I think I texted you too, the zero interest rate phenomenon, right? Just the dangers of that, where you just get you oversupply. So they made so much equipment, and by the way, this is happening across all fitness equipment, like fitness equipment, right? No one's buying fitness equipment. No one's buying. Like, I'm just telling you right now, like, dude, like, I've made some incredible fitness content with some equipment lately, and it's getting 10% of what it used to be in terms of what type of sales or interest it would. The interest is there, but the sales are a tenth of what they were in 2018, 2019. No one's buying clothes. No one is, I mean, people have dramatically shifted the way they're approaching kind of meals and entertainment. We were talking about, like, obviously when I did that whole Men's Health piece, I was on the cover, and they did a kind of whole intro story of like my weekly cheat meal at Five Guys. I still love Five Guys, but I can get 2 or 3 In-N-Out meals for one Five Guys meal. In this economy, like, I mean, I hadn't had In-N-Out in a while. I'm like, I might have to work this back into the rotation more. I had the double animal style, protein style, and then I got the fries well done animal style. I almost came in my pants. It really was. It was the end of a long day. We went to the beach. I had like 6 hours of driving. It just hit, and like $20 for 2 people. This is like, and it's fresh. I'm not saying this is a quote unquote healthy meal, but like, I can fit it in, you know, and it's only $20, bro. And I know you get the gift cards.
Well, yeah, Heather's account is In-N-Out Burger. She loves it. I mean, I do like it. I'll always ask her too, because like I'll go, like, if I go once a week or something, it's probably the place I'll go. If we don't do something different, just because it's like, it's easy, it's fast, whatever. They do, and it's real food still. And it's the consistency, man. It's always legit. And I'm like, do you want anything? She'll be like, no. And then, like, you know, I'll be sitting in the fucking drive-through line. It's like my phone comes in. She's like, can I get a cheeseburger protein style with grilled onions? This, I'm like, always, dude. And like, do you want any fries? She would say no, but I always order them because she'll just pick up my shit anyway. That's what your wife will do. Super annoying. I'm like, if I order my fries, these are mine. These are not for you.
And they're not like Five Guys where you get like a lot of fries plus a lot of extra ones in the bag. I mean, that's the one thing. But what I'll say about In-N-Out, they give you the right portion sizes. Yeah, and again, it is, if we're talking economy shit. I remember going to Five Guys with you, and this was before the world, before they fucked it and printed all the money. Dude, Five Guys, I would order Five Guys, and it would be like, my bill for me would be like $28, like, for me.
Oh, yeah, just me alone. And I'm like, this is, and I can't imagine what it is now. It's got to be substantially more. And I go, this is fast food. Like, what? That's why I look, and again, that's not a knock on Peloton or anybody, but they're fucked. If your goal was to A, get people to keep the subscription, but 2, sell them at whatever the bike costs, $2,000 or $2,500. You sent me the Precision Nutrition thing. I'm actually on their email list too, and I saw that buy one get one off for everything. Where you're looking at people's spending habits, like, we see it on our stuff too, like across the board for everything. Where it's like, it's a weird space. Again, you can see I've been saying this for a long time. All these things, I'm not a genius. I'm an idiot that works in a warehouse. What do I know? But I do get to work with some super rich fucking people who are super smart and see things that I don't see, and they see trends and track things that I don't track. And to all their surprise, like, it's shocking that it's went on this long. Like, that this shit show of like people just blowing money and doing shit has went on, because how everything is exponentially so much more, like everything. And that's why I'm gonna get on the depressing soapbox here again. I have these kids that work for me, 30 years old, 27 years old. And I was like, Jeremy, I want to do what you did. And I'm like, it can't be done. I don't want to be, it cannot be replicated what this is. It's not a, to go through like the era of time and like, excuse me, like rebuy your house and do all the things, like, and just the time that like you lived in when you're talking about people buying equipment or just social in general. Like, and I always go back to the social stuff because Facebook was just like your friends. And when the feed was done with your 10 friends, the feed just stopped. So when, Ricky ate tacos today, that was it. And you're done and you went on with your life. And your Instagram was like just your friends. Now, dude, when I go on, which is very rare, I'll take gaps in the day where there's 5 hours or not when I don't have my phone by me just because I can't fucking stand it anymore. It's like the feed on Instagram is just filled with nonsense. Like it's giving me dog videos or whatever, but it's an algorithm of just trying to keep me on there. It's not something I even follow. It's like all just suggested shit. And I'm like, this is not what I want to do. And then you look at how your stuff does versus how it used to do. It's the most painful thing to watch. It's like everyone's attention is pulled in 8,000 directions. And so even the things that you follow and want to see are not the things that you are following and seeing anymore, which makes everybody else's job exponentially harder. And I think all of the companies, from a PN, from a Peloton, from whoever, they're all feeling that because there's 8,000 options. Even the fitness equipment, I'll probably just pick up the back extension Nordic Ham thing that you have and just send me the code. I'll actually buy it because it looks cool. And I have the money. Yeah, I have the money to fucking blow. So I don't give a shit, but it's a business expense and it's fine. For a normal person to go drop $300, $400, $500 on something, you gotta you have to be, you're as close to a fitness person as I am, other than running a business. If you're gonna buy that shit, in this world that we live in now, where I think 5 or 6 years ago it was a little bit different.
See, that's why this is so unique. Because the last time, let's say 2008 was the last worst time for the economy, right? And that was a serious, we were on verge of a global financial collapse.
Yes,
but there were an incredible amount of opportunities in the fitness space, group training, boot camps, online, education, all this stuff. But now, as you talk about coming into the industry now, people aren't buying apparel or merch. They're not buying equipment. There frankly are really good free offerings now for programming and workouts, and there's so many. And streaming now is oversaturated. And, on top of that, people, their motivation is low. And, again, they're not feeling good, right? There's not a lot of confidence. So even if you're diversified right now, I'll just be honest, bro, I've ebbed and flowed with my motivation to want to do this for a living. But this is the first time in my 20 plus years of doing this where I'm wondering if I can make a living doing this moving forward, a true living, a living that I want to do just because of the amount of time that has to go into it. And then how much smaller the return is on that amount of time as compared to what it used to be. It's this isn't a smart investment of time. So I'm always going to do it for myself. And I'll always leverage what we have, or maybe it does become a side hustle. And then I go with another approach for things moving forward. I'm saying this is the first time, where truly, and that's not even factoring in the AI component and what that's going to look like in 3 to 5 years. And you know what? It's easy to get swallowed up by it, but at the end of the day, I have never been more into it for myself, which is what this was all about in the beginning anyway. I got into this to subsidize my love for this and my desire to take care of my body in the best way I can. One of the few things you can control. And, obviously I've got the arthritis I'm dealing with now. But again, so what I'm trying to say is I'm not letting it overwhelm me. Because again, it is technically I'm doing all the right things. And I think a lot of other people are too. It's just, if you've diversified, you're used to bringing in 5 different things, but all those things are now being negatively impacted by the state of the economy and just where people are. And like you said, you could always at least depend on trainers to buy, but this is the unfortunate, because it's an ecosystem, trainers aren't getting fed. So they're not investing in themselves the way they used to with regards to education and their own training, their own equipment. And things are troublesome too when people aren't buying supplements. because these are the quick fixes that like take no time, that make people feel good about themselves. Even that now is dipping. So, you know, again, like this isn't meant to be like I just think it's important to say it, because I've talked to people, a lot of, like, honestly, I can think about 20 people at the top of my head that are like high performers in this space, and everyone they speak to and also themselves, like, this is like new territory that we've entered to in the fitness space. And it's scary, but at the same time, like, I guess the only thing that frightens me is I don't know what else I would do, because I don't enjoy, I don't want to get into the people business. You know what I mean? Like, I like working remotely. And again, this is part of too, like, maybe the only thing good about the pandemic is that the cat's out of the bag. Now, like, remote work is like a standard of most new jobs or types of things or careers. But again, it's just fascinating. I'm going to keep doing my thing. I've never worked harder. I've never gotten more content out. I can't depend on the people out there anymore. That's the thing. It's like, that's the unfortunate thing, is you can't depend on people anymore.
No, it's a weird, again, it's the same gif I share in most, when I talk about this in most things. And I try to be like optimistic, because like, if you go historically, like, this is a great time to be alive. Like, you know, I'm not out, you know, fighting the fucking Apache and shit. And I'm not like, you know, Genghis Khan isn't coming to cut my head off. And, you know, if you go back to like when the Bible was written, people were probably, life expectancy was probably like 30, you know, so you're past all those things. And we all live like kings, you know, comparable to, you know, like my grandpa's getting fucking dropped off to fight a war and he's 18. You know, I'm not doing that shit. So like, you know, we're just, every generation becomes a bigger pussy than the generation before. Sorry if that hurts your feelings, but it's just the truth. Like, my dad's tougher than me. His dad's tougher than him. It's just the circumstance in life and whatever. But in terms of the economical shit show that you are living in, this is not, it's like, it's the gif I share is the Titanic, when the guy's just playing music and the whole ship is just sinking. He's like, just enjoy the band, bro, as the ship goes down. Because that's the way I have to see it, because I haven't heard anybody like talk through a good way out of it. Because it's just, if you understand like fiat currency and how it works, it's just like the more money you print, the more you devalue it. It limits your purchasing power. Even if you make, you know, 100 grand, 200 grand, 300 grand a year, you should be like super fucking rich. Like, the amount of money that I make, I should be like, you know, I should own 10 houses. I go, but I don't. I own, you know, one, and I have some properties. But like, it's not nearly like, if you told me that when I was 20, I'd be like, bro, this is, the game has changed. Like, this is, dude, I remember being in my, I've shows in here before, like our first space down the street, we were in that space for 7.5 years. So this is 2009, like right after the world melts. We start Jeremy Scott Fitness essentially in a park first, then in this building with no air conditioning. I ran this business. Like, let me say this, everybody. Like, when you talk about coming into the space and coming into like, Jeremy, I want to do kind of what you do, or I want to get into fitness. I started this in parks, bro. And I live in the fucking desert where it's 120 degrees. So I did this in a building with no air conditioning for 7.5 years and had 150 to 200 members on reoccurring paying me. That could never happen again today. If I get somebody to walk in here and the air's not on, they'll be like, what the fuck is wrong with this? Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, that can't be a thing. So that's the environment that we came up in. But two, economically, it was way friendlier. And I remember I said, if I get 100 people just to pay me $100 a month, that's $10,000 a month. Even if I got to pay 5 out and I could make 5 grand, and I'm 25, 6 years old. If I could make 5 grand a month, I'm like, that would be the greatest fucking thing ever. Because that 5 grand in 2010 went so far. Now it's like 5 grand is like, what, this is fucking, I got to really like budget and focus and do, like, that's how much it shifted and changed. And that's why I say, like, I don't know where it goes, but it's a weird thing. And like, we know fitness is something that people cut. They shouldn't. I go, but it becomes a luxury. You know, fitness equipment becomes a luxury, or the clothes I wear, like all the little things and what people prioritize and don't. And the reason I say it's a weird, because it's seasonal here, like where we live. So it's always been like slower in the summertime. But, and this is not a knock on people. And if you're a member, we love you. I'm not trying to talk shit about you, but I'm going to talk shit here. You know, like, hey, can I, hey, my net worth is $15 million. Can I pause my gym membership in July? Like, so I can go stay at my, beach house in California that costs me 30 grand a month. Yeah, sure, dude. We'll pause your fucking $300 membership at Jeremy Scott Fitness so you can blow 30 G's on your fucking dream summer vacation, and you come back on your jet. Why I eat shit here. And that's, me being the angry, middle-aged business owner. But the reality is that does happen. And that's happened more this year at scale than I've ever seen before. So meaning they prioritize me like at the bottom of the fucking barrel. Someone, oh, we love you. We love to see you. You're always here. Sure you do, until it's not convenient for you. But even those people are starting to look at little things in their budget, like where they can save money. And that's something that has happened, but not at a clip that I've seen before. So it makes sense to me when I watch the Pelotons of the world or the Precision Nutritions of the world and these other companies just really eat it. And I don't know. It's got to crack. I just don't know what does or when it does, but something has to go. And to your point, as you just in any career, I think for people who are listening and you work, it's to keep the same motivation forever is tough. For one, even if you love it, especially when the return is not there, whatever the return looks like. And I probably get a better one than most people because of all the things that we do here. So people would just reply, send a random email to me like, hey man, listen, I haven't listened to your podcast in 10 months. And I just listened to you talk about your diet, which really wasn't about diet, but it was. And oh my God, it changed my life. Thank you. Oh, there's really nice things. And it just happened yesterday. That's why I thought of it. And most people don't get that in this space. And so that's just, and I share that not to make me sound like I'm great, because I'm not, because I didn't even want to do the fucking podcast, but I'm a robot. So I do, You ever seen the movie Beekeeper with Jason Statham? He just goes. He doesn't, it's what you think it is, but you watch, it's like he goes until the job is finished. He's a bee. He works and works and works until he dies. That's who the fuck I am. And I share that just for the fact of he sent that email yesterday and I showed it to Heather and I'm like, that's a little bit of oxygen. It's just a little bit more okay, I guess I'll do the podcast with BJ Sunday. If I get enough, I guess I'll do one for the next week and the next week. Now there has to be monetary things there because it's a business and this makes money. But you have to get those little wins in anything you do in life, whether it's your fitness or your career or whatever. Because if you don't get those, all it is you're just taking fucking L's every day. You're just waking up to diminishing returns or romanticizing of how it was before, and now you're dealing with this environment. I think that's what a lot of people kind of go through in any career or any part of life, where it's you can only take so many fucking L's in a row before you have to get a couple of wins just to keep the motivation going. Because in all reality, I was here yesterday. We do the groups in the morning, and I typically work on the Saturdays. For how long, who knows? But Heather's like, do you want to film some stuff? And I'm like, no. But I will. My answer was no. I didn't even usually I just think it in my head and then I say something else. But I'm like, no, I don't want to fucking film these fucking videos today. I'm like, but I need to. I need to have some stuff. So let's sit here and film it. Where years ago would have been yeah, I got this really cool idea. It's exciting. I want to share it, because there was just more, it would do better. And what I mean by do better was more people would actually see it who want to see it. And now it's even the people who want to see it aren't seeing it, because I'm getting the messages, oh, I haven't seen your shit in 6 months and I just went on your stuff and you've been sharing stuff the whole time. It's well, yeah, dude, this machine didn't fucking turn off. I go, but the metric by which you try to look at it doesn't show it at the same clip it used to. And that, for anybody who creates and who puts stuff out there, that's tough. And so it's you have to have an email list, you have to have your website, you have to have all the things, but it's just there's just so much noise out there. So you have to just have these diehard fans to keep going over and over and over again. And that's a really tough thing to do for people, especially if it's only digital, because it's just this one-way street. If not getting feedback, it's hard to gauge, what is doing well, what is working. I don't mean views and clicks. I mean what things are converting in terms of money and people are using and liking. And you get such a small percentage of that feedback back from the people who actually see and use your stuff. There's people who watch your shit every day. They watch all the pool shit you do. They watch all the sled stuff. You just sent out a video the other day. It was 40 some sled drills or some crazy fucking shit, which had to take an insane amount of time to do, to film, to process. I go, I'll watch it. And I might like it or whatever, but I'm historically terrible at that. But how many people have watched that video and actually used it and thought it was great, but didn't say shit to you about it? And yet you need to still be motivated on the other side to do it even though it's not converting into like sales and memberships. And that's a tough place to be for anybody in business.
You know, and by the way, like, I hope people listening are not taking this. You and I, we always give the real, right? This is just like real life. We're not going to sugarcoat anything. I mean, the reality is, I think it's very easy. It's safe to say fitness is not a good business to be in. It's not recession proof. It's seasonal, and it will always be considered a luxury. And it is unfortunately something that seems to be more for the rich because they have more time and resources and all that stuff. I don't make the fucking rules. I've been in this business at a high level for a very long time. And so, yeah, you're trying to get into a business like this. I don't know. It's not a good business. Now, we both got into it because it was a passion. Had I had this information presented to me 20 plus years ago, coming out of a good college with a degree and an easy way to make a lot more money, I don't know what I would have done. It would have been probably helpful to know that information, but at least people listening now, you know, you got to really get into this for the right reasons now more than ever, because it is not a good business model. And it depends on you finding a way, especially if you're doing it online. You've got to find a way to create real connections with people through a screen. And it's tough to do it in person. You know, it's tough to do it in person. So now, you know, that all being said, like you mentioned the sled video. And again, like people don't realize what goes into each thing that gets made. You know, that took just to film the movements took a couple hours out here in the desert heat. To edit the video took me a half day. Then I got to make a thumbnail. I got to get it up and post it. And what I will say about and it goes out and maybe 300 people see it. And again, it'll age well, you know, because no one else has made a 47 sled exercise video because, you know, they would never waste their time. But most of my career, I've gotten a pretty good return on just like, if I put the effort out there, if I do the inputs, I get the outputs. This has been the first stretch of my career where that's not the case. But I'm finally now at a point where, like in the past, I would have put all this time and effort into a video like that. I would put it out there and, you know, and it would have like devastated me, bro, because like, again, it's so much time and it's a single video, but I'm like so numb to it. Like I expect nothing. I like this first time in my life, I expect nothing from my work. I expect nothing from it, but except for the work I do for myself, because I always get a return on that. But I expect nothing for the stuff I put out there to the world because I'm just conditioned to it now. There's nothing's coming back. And whatever's coming back is a fraction of what it was, whatever it was. And again, I'm not whining or complaining, whatever. I don't give a shit. I'm doing the work.
It's just facts.
It's just facts. So that, you know, and again, if we consider this a period of famine or drought, and where I've looked at a lot of the stuff now, it's, you know, the seeds you plant in drought. That's really my whole motto now. I'm putting seeds out there. A lot of this stuff might not germinate for 3 to 5 years plus, if ever. But all I can do is plant seeds. That's all I can do. And finally, really just like the high I get is when I look at this thing and I'm just checking these boxes off. That's the high. That's my dopamine now. Like in the past, this would do nothing for me, but I'd have to get like comments or stuff. But now I'm numb to the comments or how something performs because again, like it truly is out of my control. And it just, again, like I'm now just so committed to the process. So whether I continue to be in this space and at this level or it becomes a side hustle or I just exit it altogether at some point, I'm going to bring these habits and this process and the numbness to performance and the high is just through the process. And that's going to be great. That's because that's for the first time in my life, I'll have achieved that. And then if things ever get good again and get, you know, somewhat easier, I'm going to have to remember to not, oh, by the way, it's taught me to live leaner than ever. You know, and that's also great to find, you know, happiness without having to actually spend money. That's not easy either. I think a lot of us probably during the pandemic try to spend our way through the depression, right? And then at some point you don't have money to spend, or your credit cards are way beyond what they should be. How do I find a way now to find contentment and happiness and generate dopamine by just living life day to day? And that's, I think, where a lot of people are too, is just finding that struggle of like just being okay with a nice average day that was very similar to yesterday.
Yeah, it's tough, especially if you're a person who's like an achiever personality, and we keep stats of everything, so everything is tracked. There's metrics. It's why if you work at a normal job, you don't really like what you do, or maybe it's not like your true passion, but you're just good at it and you have some talent, and the money's never enough, because even if you get a raise every year, that number just keeps escalating forever. Especially if you don't really enjoy it, like, we'll pay you 100 grand, we'll pay you 150, we'll pay you 200, and then it could get to these crazy numbers, and you'd be like, yeah, but I still need more, and you're just kind of always chasing, because you don't enjoy the day-to-day life that you're obviously living. And to your point, yes, most people, everything needs to be I need to take again, it's my problem with social media. Like, oh, everybody else is taking great vacations, everybody else is crushing, yeah, bro, but like, it's all bullshit. Like, all the shit you see is horse shit. Like, I always say this too, and I said this a couple weeks ago on the podcast, like wealth to me, if you're talking like money shit, like, wealth is not like what you see. It's what you don't see. Like, I don't like when you drive a super nice car, like, I don't know what the payment is. I don't know if you own it, you lease it, whatever. Or if you wear, I don't know shit about designer clothes. Like, if you wear Gucci shirts, or you got a certain kind of fucking bag, like, I don't know what your credit card bill is. Like, that, it's not what it's stuff I can't see. Like, if you actually own your home, if you actually have your bills paid, if you actually have, investment properties, if you have things that make your life easier, is what I'm saying. Like, I don't care what the fuck it is. I'm like, but does the money make your life easier? Do you have a better lifestyle because of the money that obviously you've made? And that's a tough thing to get to people too, especially when you do like live in excess and you do all these crazy things. And it's not to say like fitness is the worst industry. Like, this is obviously is what I've done, given my entire adult life to it. But you have to like love doing it. And what I mean is, like, you have to be a fitness person and not just a person who likes to work out and exercise. Like, meaning you like to create it and deliver it and give it to other people in a way that excites them and gets them to keep doing it over and over and over again. It's, for whatever reason, like these Sundays here that we do now have turned into this weird thing where it used to just be my workout. Now it's kind of like I'm working, even though like I just work out with them. But it's this creative thing that I give them, and we put the workout together today, and it's there. And then I sit there and I realize, like, and they always say, oh, it's always so fun. And that was one of the worst ones, but really means one of the best ones. And you get these fucking lunatics who have like kids and jobs, and they come in here and they just fucking die. Like, they're just literally, you're coming in here and you're dying a slow death, and they like love it. And it's fucking really weird. And I'm kind of weird in the same way, but I'll create it and they're like, oh, that was awesome. And then I realized, like, oh, you guys couldn't do this. Like, you guys couldn't have created this. Your brain doesn't work the same way mine does. You would come in here and wouldn't know what the fuck to do. You'd have to copy some old shit that I did. And that is a gift, and you do have it, and you can give it to somebody, but you have to love it to do that for a decade or 2 decades. And it can't just be motivated by solely money. Like, there has to be something else in there, like the pride of it or whatever the fuck it may be. Because when we did start doing this, it wasn't a money thing. It was, I don't want to hate my fucking job and life thing. And then along the way, you figured out, oh, I actually can make money, and I can kind of, support a lifestyle and do it. But starting out, yeah, everything is different, and everything is, it's in a weird space. I couldn't imagine. I guess I'm thankful that I did it when I got to do it, and I was born in the time I was born in, or however you want to say it. Because yeah, it'd be a little bit strange if I was trying to just start a YouTube page today. Not that you can't do it. There's going to be people who do it and crush. I go, but that is a full-time job. Like, that is not a fuck around like half-time. I'm going to start a gym. Okay, cool, bro. Open up a space, buy the equipment, invest $500,000 into it. It's like, that's a big ass, man, of your wife or your husband or your family, whoever, to go into that much debt, since you probably don't have the fucking money to do fitness for a living. Like, because you're going to be married to that shit. Like, for better or worse, like, your wife is married to what the fuck you do, and at whatever level, until you don't want to do it. And mine is the same way. Like, they reap all the benefits, but you're also stuck You don't like they get to get it on parole or they're like on work release, right? Like we're in a prison no matter what. Like, and I don't mean that in a negative way, kind of, but not really. Like you're in a prison and I'm in a prison of that we created ourselves because our fucking name is on it and we are it. Even though as much as we leverage the other people, it is always, us. They're married to it in the same sense, except they get on a work release and they can go do some fun shit and they can forget about it for a little bit. And then they see you and then they're right back in prison again. And that's like, if you're in this business, like at any kind of entrepreneurial thing, like you have to know that like your partner and you are committed to that. So anybody who's listening, I don't care if you run a fucking bakery or a coffee shop or you do landscaping, whatever, your partner is going to be married to it at some level, whether they like it or not. Like they're in it with you. And that's fitness is probably one of the greatest examples of that because you actually live it in how you eat, how you train, how you sleep, how you look. It does follow you everywhere you go, which is probably unique to us.
Yeah, man. And again, like, and these challenges, by the way, are not just within fitness; it's across the board. So, hopefully, what people take out of it is again, like, for years I heard that, just fall in love with the process. And it's like, what does it even fucking mean? Now I know. Now I know. And you know what? It's the same process that I had to fall in love with for my own fitness too. Because it is the same, mostly the same inputs day in, day out. And, and by the way, a good benefit of getting older is like you tend to fall in love more with routine than you do when you're young. Novelty and newness tends to win the day when you're younger. As you get older, routine really becomes a bedrock. And that's the process. So just focus on the process of whatever it is that you do. And just keep checking those boxes. And, I've said this a long, long time, keep showing up. Eventually you'll be the last person left in the room. And even if that room is getting filled with water, you'll be the last one to drown. So
you're surviving.
Exactly.
We'll do
let's pivot to some abs. Great time to talk about abs in the summer.
Yeah. We did load, and again, the stuff you have is great. For the people who are obviously in our stuff, we loaded BJ's, I don't even know if it's called the Ultimate Core Trainer. Maybe that's just what I called it. Is that what it's called?
Ultimate Core, Ultimate Abs.
I don't even know. It's in the infographics in the app. I've been doing it. I don't even read my own shit anymore. I just went to the detail. I'm getting older. I forget the details of damn near everything I do. I think we called it, the Ultimate Core Trainer. But it is, it's 10 videos. They're all follow along. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. Like even the first, they get progressively harder. I think I went through, 3 of them now. I think around like the third one, or this week will be the 4th one. I'd basically just been doing it. I was taking our weekly workouts in the app. The entire program is obviously in there. And I just saw like on Wednesdays, usually for me, depending on the week, last week was a little bit different, but it tends to be the day where I do like heavy mobility stuff. And then I'll build that in. Cause I did it the first week. I'm like, well, okay, I'll do my mobility, but I have some energy today. So I'll do this. It's like, I think, what is the following 25 minutes or is it 30? One of the two.
Every workout is always 20 minutes long. The instructional portion varies from video based on, the coaching.
But even that, like just doing like video 1, if that's the easiest, again, they're going to be movement centric. So some people will do better with movement X versus movement Y, but just the timing alone, like minute work periods are so long, in my opinion, if you're really doing stuff. So even as simple as like a single leg, essentially hip thrust on a slight, toes elevated, that's a long time to do a single leg hip thrust through full range of motion. Because historically, if I do, let's say, body weight stuff at 15 reps with squeezes, 15 reps doesn't take me like a full minute. Like, so even to slow that down and have 15 be in the minute, it's 20 seconds longer than I normally go. And that's murder. And even that first video 1, there's the sliding, like the hamstring curls you do with the sliders, we do them here. And we don't do the drop the hip. We just have people do the full like if you can do, and this is what I mean by people who think like, well, I have to like, load super heavy. You can if you want to. I'm not saying I still don't lift heavy shit, relative to, the average person, but doing like single leg hamstring curls or slide outs, like with the sliders, if you can do 5 or 6, like legit, like you're insanely strong. If you could somehow get to 10, which I cannot, by the way, on one leg, there's no fucking way. Like I'd love to see a human give me 10 to 12, 13 perfect reps on one leg without dropping the hips, and then do it on the other side. So in the video, you do a minute with the regression of the hip drop, which is still hard to do. But the single arm push-ups, dude, like that's insanity. Like do a single arm push-up essentially with a slide, like so there's assistance. You do it for a minute. You wait 15 seconds, which is nothing, and then do another minute. For most people, just to, if I'm being honest, when people say like they do these videos and they do them perfect, most people are so full of shit. Because just to hold a fucking plank, like even on your hands, your body is shaking like a leaf. Like it's not easy to do. And that's like, I guess the point of me saying that is like when you say like ultimate core trainer, it's not just lay there and just do sit-ups and crunches. Those things are fine. And it's all part of a lot of the programs that we make. But this is beyond that. Like, and it really is a test of like what you can do, and you can find the weaknesses in your game pretty quick. Or like, I don't want to say a lack of muscular endurance, but just for me, like when am I, other than like, I don't do fucking plank holds. I really don't. Like we program our stuff in here, I'll run through a round, but I'm not generally doing them all the time. And when I do push-ups, I do them for the reps, I do them and I do the variations, but typically not like this in the format. So even for me, like extremely challenging, just video number 1, which is the easiest of the 10 in the series.
Number 1, it's an advanced abs program. So that's first and foremost. Even the easiest workout one. So it's a 10 workout series. It's progressive, but it's an advanced program. Like in the other content, like for example, you have like a body weight trainer. That's where you like learn the basic ab exercises, the planks, the side planks. This starts at an advanced level, and it takes you to a whole new level by the end of it. And this is where it's kind of funny because people they probably look at maybe some of the stuff you and I do at this age and think, oh, these pussies, this is no, like this is the hard stuff, man. Like getting like the whole path of the program is designed to get you to do L-sits, handstands, really advanced single arm calisthenics, single leg calisthenics. The early parts of the program are about bulletproofing the back in all 3 planes of motion. So we have some stability there, but then, again, like, I don't know if anyone's ever done an L-sit, and there's progressions there within. Like what's required to do an L-sit is insane hip mobility, shoulder strength and stability, and also core strength. Like these are full body abs workouts. So, and there's one workout in there in particular that like, we had one guy, like he literally had a nervous breakdown. I had to get rid of him from the app because he got so negative about the fact that it was so hard for him. But I make some of these workouts like a video game. It's GG24. I don't know what it'll be, like number 7 or 8 in the order. That one is not designed to be completed. And then I think people also don't listen to instructions. Like we use a lot of rest pause training. I love rest pause training because you can fuck around and get a triple double. These open blocks, let's say 2 or 3 minutes where you do reps, and when you can't do any more quality ones, you pause for 5 or 10 seconds, no more than 20, then you keep going and keep picking up because it allows you in a safe manner without the need to have specific loading, oftentimes using just your body weight, to hit failure multiple times safely, which generates a lot of training effect. So, whether it's, and there's also a lot of, what you can expect from this there's a lot of hanging drills, hanging leg raises, L-sits, progressions doing handstands. So again, it's advanced, but man, like this is the real stuff. This is the stuff that really tells you, is my back bulletproof? Do I have true core strength? Not just the ability to bring my face towards my knees, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with a crunch, but a crunch versus a hanging leg raise, this is a different ballpark, right? What's required in a hanging leg raise? Shoulder mobility, scapular mobility. You've got to have grip strength, right? You got to have a really strong back to be able to lift your legs. If you have any sizable leg mass, the strengthening to your hip flexors is just off the charts, low abs. So, but again, these are process exercises, right? This is not candy. You're not getting an instant return on these movements. Not the sense that like, you're going to feel them, but like, no, you've got to be willing to work because there's a built-in mobility component as well. And by the way, like I said, I think in previous stuff on this too, the follow-along workouts are great and you can do them. You can also take these movements and work on them at your own pace and say, you know what, today I'm just going to I'm going to drip this throughout the day. I'm going to just do like 5 to 10 hanging leg raises hourly. And then tomorrow I might shift to an L sit. I don't care how you do it. It's just, you've got to just be consistent with the process. And these are fantastic movements, that I just, a lot of gymnastic based approach in them too. And to me, like there's nothing more impressive than someone who's like over 200 pounds that can do an L sit. Legs straight, like getting your hips off the ground and holding that, like the amount of strength that's required. And again, like the big focus with a lot of this stuff too is you want to feel, like you do want to feel it. Like you want to feel the muscles that we're trying to target work, and things are set up in a way where you can't avoid that. So it's a very challenging program. It's advanced. But again, don't get overwhelmed by so what I'm saying is like, this guy was like losing his fucking mind. I'm like, bro, like express pause. No one's expecting you to go for 3 minutes straight. You go for 30 seconds, you take a brief pause, you get back in. Like by the end, you might be doing singles. It's like, so what's wrong with doing singles? You know what I'm saying? Like, again, like it's a totally different way to train than most people are used to. But again, like the task is advanced ab training, minimal equipment, can do it at home, take it to the gym in only 20 minutes. I mean, I challenge someone to maybe you can, I know you can do it differently, but is there a better way? Let me know.
No, it's like even going through the first, I think the GG24 is video 8 of the 10. But even the very first video, I mean, I think we're 3 through, I'll be at 4 this Wednesday. But I'm doing some of these and I'm like, this is a minute, dude. And I'm like then I'm looking at the clock, which then I know I'm fucked. Because you're looking for a way out. It's like you're in a fight and you're like gassed. And you're like, okay, how much time before I get my ass knocked out here? And essentially what you're doing is like, I'm a clock watcher. I'm like, okay, I have 20 seconds to go. Can I just hold myself in the position? And to your point, I weigh over 200 pounds and my hamstrings and my ass are most of it, because my calves are that of a 4-year-old girl's, it's higher and tighter, bro, every year. Still doing them. I walk around with that 60-pound weight vest on, doing calf raises. I'm like, they get all pumped up. I'm like, yeah, this is the shit. And I wake up the next day and I'm like, look at my ankles, dude. It's like a 10-year-old girl. It's insane. But like, I'll go through the entire program. Being over 200 pounds, I can't do an L sit. Not legs completely straight, perfect off the ground. I'm like, I watch typically people who are, when bigger people can do it, it's super impressive. If you're 5'4" and you weigh 100 pounds, like, it's still impressive, but it's not the same. It seems like it's impossible. Like when I say that, it's like the first time I remember like finding out how tight my quads and hip flexors were when I'm watching, I don't know who it was. It was, on Kelly's Tourette stuff, maybe Rosa or somebody, like just gets up and does a couch stretch. I mean, I'm talking knee back, shin parallel, and she just stands up like nothing fucking happened. And there's no restriction there. Her heel is to her ass, her shoulder blades are against the wall, and she's just hanging out talking. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I go shin parallel to the wall. I get there, and I can't fucking move. I could not get up. And I'm like, oh, okay, we are not the same. Like, I'm thinking like we are similar. I'm like, I'm way less mobile and flexible than you. It seemed impossible. Now I'm essentially a year and a half later. Now I can do that perfect on both sides, which only took me spending an hour plus a fucking day for a year and a half. And now I can do a couch stretch perfect. Nobody gives a shit. But hey, I have a moral victory. When I look at the L sit, it's the same way I feel now. Like, it feels like it's impossible. Now I'll get there at some point. I'll probably be under 200 pounds at that point, and who fucking knows? But that's the way I feel about those things, of how much strength it takes. And that's a skill that, of all the lifting and all the mobility stuff I've done, I still don't have that. And so when people look at like a program like this, that's why I put it in there. That's why I build it. I know if I build it into the weekly workouts, the diehard people who do the shit that I do will actually do it. And that's why I threw the boxing stuff in there. And that's the same way I feel about this. But I can't tell you guys like how much easier it is for me to come in here and do, and I hate, and these are things I hate to do, right? Like to put on a 60-pound weight vest and then do dumbbell additional loaded Bulgarian split squats, then do trap bar deadlifts, and then push a sled. Like that'll be like, that's a leg day I did here on Friday when we got back from our trip. Did I want to do that? No. Like the sled I don't hate as much because it's like whatever, I can kind of rest and breathe, but it still fucking sucks, especially when the load's heavy. But I hate split squats like nobody else does. And to deadlift and do that. But those 3 exercises, as much as they suck and as much as I hate them, and it took me, I mean, by the time I did mobility, probably an hour and a half. So I'll do my mobility, then I do the lifting. That is so much easier to me than doing this 20 minutes of core work. Like, and it's not even comparable. I would do that workout and I fucking hate split squats as much as I hate damn near anything in life. That is so much easier than doing this. And that's what I mean by people who have to detach your mind from like what it's bullshit. The story we tell ourselves, like what we think is hard versus what is really hard. Like, oh, that was a hard workout today. And that was a hard workout that I did. I go, but I've already acquired those skills. Those are already strengths of mine. Even if I don't like them, from where I started to where I'm at, how much I can load, the volume I can do, the range of motion, the quality of the technique, it's fucking as perfect as it's going to be. These other things, I'm not that. So to deadlift 300 pounds, not that hard for me. Like pretty fucking easy for multiple reps, even as an old man who probably shouldn't, but I'm dumb and I still do. Like to do that, like to do single leg fucking body weight, fucking hip thrusts. And that's what's crushing me. Like that should tell you something. So like when you guys are training, there has to be some input there of like, am I just telling myself a story, and saying this is not that hard, I need to do this? Or is that the reality? Like this is actually what is hard, and maybe don't do as much of the stuff that you're great at and build in a lot of these things to kind of complement the stuff that you're already crushing.
100%, and look, so there's a couple things to unpack on that. Number one, you can't, even if they're structured to time, you can't focus on time when it comes to these style of movements. It's all about breath. So in every one of these exercises, I give you a breathing cue to focus on. It's designed to get you into a meditation for that movement. And closing the eyes can help. But when you, again, it's like, it's so stupid because, again, I remember the first, like, just focus on your breath. Like, what does that mean? Well, but when you actually start to cue in on, because, again, core training is all about breathing, right? Like, because if your breathing is off and your diaphragm isn't functioning, you can't get the proper posture, right? It affects your pelvic position, your back, your lower back positioning, your upper back shoulder positioning. Everything's thrown off. So
and you panic.
You panic, right? So the whole point of these movements are to be able to breathe through them. Like what I've been blown away with since I really started focusing on breath and all things, particularly with cardio and core movements, the fact that there's no longer any panic or anxiety with them. Like sometimes I'm like, I'm seeing how fast I'm going or how long I'm going. And I'm like, wow, my heart rate is low. It's like this took a long time to get here, but this is falling in love with the process. People wonder why you and I are still doing what we're doing. There's lots of reasons, but if it was just about weight loss, you and I would have stopped a long time ago. Weight loss was never even a goal for you, right? Like we're constantly finding ways to humble ourselves and constantly finding new challenges that probably will take us 3 to 5 plus years to get on the other side of. This has to be the way you approach things in and out of the gym. This is newness. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't mean I stopped doing the things I used to do. Things rotate in and out. Like, for example, right now, as I'm trying to manage the bone spurs in my left knee and the arthritis hit a whole new level this year in terms of inflammation and stuff like that. So I've had to just, again, this is one thing interesting too, with just aging. Like I saw there was a piece on Al Horford of the Celtics and how, like, he's one of the older players in the league, and like every 5 years his body changed on him and he had to completely change the way he looked at his diet, his exercise, his recovery. This is true. I mean, in 3 to 5 years, like things have to evolve and change and things come in and out. Like there was a period of time I was doing a lot of split squatting and lunging. Now I'm actually doing mostly backward sledding because I got this manual endless sled that's right in my living room. I'll watch sports or movies while I'm doing it. I can get it in quick. It's a nice way to get some cardio inside if I don't feel like going outside into the heat on one day, or just get some recovery. And I will say, and it's designed specifically to build that terminal knee extension to really get the lower quad VMO muscles going, which help track the patella, but also team high calves, team no calves likely. I've noticed some pretty substantial soleus growth from it because I build up to doing an hour straight. And like an hour of backwards resisted walking or sledding, bro, that's like 5+ miles regular weighted walking. It's quite a workout. And that's what's required right now for my body. And I'm just maintaining the split squat or lunge pattern and focusing on technically a pretty small range of motion movement, but it's what my body needs right now to manage the condition. So that's all to say that, again, like, take each of these movements, take them literally a breath cycle time as prescribed in this. And again, understand too, if there's 10 movements in a workout, the proper way to train any movement pattern is to take them one at a time. Develop mastery for each pattern one at a time before you start piecing them together. Now, again, the challenge of the program is 10 workouts progressive, follow along base, 20 minutes. We've got to put it all together into one single workout, right? It's not optimal, but it's effective. So that's what I'm trying to say is, like, take them out if you need to take them out, work on them. Look at the 10 workouts as just progressions that you can use for a movement you want to focus on. You can absolutely do them all together. Just understand that it's going to make it harder, especially if your breath focus isn't in place. And again, like, you want to get to the point. It's like I always talk about the Bruce Lee effect, right? Or it's what supple leopard really is all about, right? You can just get into the splits, or just start doing a set of pull-ups without any warm-up, right? That's where things get more fun. You just start peppering them in throughout your day. That's what a movement base is. It's just the shit you do every day, regardless of what else you're going to do. And a lot of these movements can become that for you. And they travel well. You can do an L sit anywhere. You can do it off the bench to modify. You can bend the knees. You can do one leg at a time. I show all these progressions, regressions, modifications in the videos. And you can take a lot of these into the water. Like a lot of what's helped me a ton is I just, off the edge of my pool, I do a lot of leg and hip cycling. And by the way, for the first time in my life, and I've been drilling this for almost 5 years now, and trying to get anyone can do this right now. Pick up your leg. If you hear a snap, crackle, and pop like a Rice Krispies cereal dish, you've got early stage arthritis in your hips, which means you're 5 to 10 years plus away from probably being in the market for hip replacements. Now's the time to invest in those hips and getting them moving and circling and rotating. And now I'm finally feeling like what it's like, Sonic the Hedgehog, when you see those legs moving like this.
Yeah.
I finally feel it. I'm 40. I'm going to be 42 in a couple months. Like, physical breakthrough that I'm going to take with me the rest of my life. But you can regress a lot of these movements in the pool and get the repetition and the muscle memory. Again, nothing goes beyond the amount of fact that you got to put in the time or the reps to get a breakthrough. Like, it took me X amount of time backward walking. And then when I went to the beach in Malibu this past week, and I did I had like this epic fucking, I arrived, I took an edible, and I walked the whole length of the beach. I went from the thicker parts of the sand, which give you a little more of a strength, resistance to work through, to actually feet in the water and then feeling the change and the resistance that came with the tide coming in and out, forwards, backwards. And I'm like, holy shit. The last 6 weeks where I did the sled every day, at least 10 minutes, the backward sled, some days an hour. I got that, finally got an autopilot where I just felt that, just like, wow, fucking amazing. This seal comes out of nowhere. This fucking seal, bro. He comes out and he looks at me, and he followed me for like 2 or 3 blocks on the beach. Because, it's a very social, they're the dogs of the sea.
Yeah.
Literally, like, he came out, he was looking at me, and then he saw me doing stuff. Like, I did this stretching on a stone. I mean, if anybody was watching this, like, they're like, That's the strange guy at the beach. But
Seal whisperer.
yeah, the seal whisperer, like this, the seal was following me. It was just amazing. But when you talk about like developing fitness and unlocking abilities, it was just like an amazing, and I was really dialed in on my breath too, because you get the ocean air, pulling that ocean air all the way into your belly and then pushing it all the way out. It was one of the best walks I ever had in my life. Like, it's enhancing something I already like and enjoy, walking on the beach. I know this is kind of a tangent, but like, really made me appreciate all the work I do and all the things I do on a daily basis when I can just go to the beach, have fun, apply it. And the environmental shift is also huge, man. Like, it becomes something to look forward to each week. And it's a freestyle flow. So I don't know, I bring it up just because like that to me was like a true example of where like all the stuff you do day in, day out really translates. And again, I like no fatigue. And I walked, I mean, dude, like my wife was like, where the fuck are you? I was gone for hours, bro. Went all the way down and came back. So pick it up where it's a tangent, but to me, like that was like it's one of those beautiful moments that happens in the process where like, holy shit, all the work I did on my breathing, all the work I did on my gait, all the work I did on my mobility, stuff that like I used to not enjoy because it would tax me, but no longer tax me because I can breathe through it. And I actually enjoy doing it. Walking was never something I enjoyed when I was young. I had no physical culture. I enjoyed playing sports, but outside of sport or competition, I had no joy in movement. Now it's like I have no competition in my life with that stuff now. It's all just joy and movement and process. And so anyway, I hope a lot of this stuff can unlock that for you guys too. And I hope also that, like, you know, Dave Jack talks about this all the time, that your fitness isn't stealing your fitness. You can go out and apply it. And now in the summer, like, get to the beach. If you can get to the beach, get those feet in the sand, get in the water, bro. Like bodyboarding, you and I have to go bodyboarding sometime because like, it's honestly the best workout. It's the most fun workout I do because bodyboarding is basically like surfing light. You can instantly, someone was like, he came to me, this bodybuilder, he's like, how do you get involved in bodyboarding? And I said, oh, the great thing about this, bro, you just jump on the waves. Surfing, you got to like live it. It's going to take like someone like you and I, it would take us a year or two to be able to surf.
Oh yeah. God. Yeah.
Oh my God. Like the mobility and the balance and all that stuff, you got to live in the water like those guys and gals do. But bodyboarding, you can just jump on. And you also have to to get to the waves, you've got to fight the tide. So you get resisted running. If you have a board, you can actually sled push out. And then you can do jumps and plyo. So in between each wave, I can actually just do a bunch of awesome shit in the water. No one can tell what's going on because the water isn't clear like a pool. So if you're worried about what people think, I don't know, I guess the beach is the wrong place for you. But then you actually ride the wave in the tide. You actually have to get into an airplane. You got to get your legs and arms off the ground and balance on your belly. And it's hard when my wife does it because she's so buoyant. She's like above the wave. When you see me come through waves, bro, like I'm inside the wave because I'm like a fucking rock.
Yeah, dense as fuck. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So we're gonna bodyboard at some point, but like a beach walk into a bodyboard into like stretching in the sand. The best place to stretch is in the sand because you're literally the sand molds to the contours of your body. So any sort of the discomfort that comes with like one part of your body being too engaged with the floor, the sand just wraps you up, and the stretching is just next level. Then you eat, you drink. It's an amazing experience. Like I never knew why people like the beach, because to me, like I grew up didn't like taking my shirt off. Didn't really from Wisconsin, so the water wasn't like something you can live in, and I didn't have like an aquatic family. My dad's from the desert. But now I do get it. It's like, it's actually a lot of fun when your body is able to do all these different things. And by the way, none of these things cost any money.
No, if you can just be there, like that's our thing. Like if you go to, because again, for us, there's a lot of places close. Coronado, we do a ton just because like we'll stay on Coronado Island in San Diego. And it's just like, we'll literally just walk the entire island. So like we'll walk from the Marriott to the Dell side and then just walk the beach like the whole way. I'm like, this is, and the same thing when we go to Newport, like we'll go down, we'll go to Crystal Cove, pay the $15 because there's no fucking criminals there. And then it's like, you basically have a private beach to yourself. And I'm like, we just walk around for hours. And I'm like, hey, because the weather's perfect. It's sunny. There's the ocean breeze. It's cool. Sometimes it's overcast. Like it's just, it's the perfect thing. It's no different than, honestly, like that would be my favorite in on reality to you. This last weekend we were in Sedona, like Oak Creek Canyon, which is Sedona looks, if anybody Googles it, it looks just like the pictures. It's even faker in person. But we have an 8-month-old puppy that's just a fucking psychopath. It's like a little muscle ball, and just hiking through for probably 2.5, 3 hours. Now it's hot and I'm sweating, and you probably cross like the creek there, the different, we call them tributaries or whatever the fuck it is, like 30 different times. So my dog is swimming through creeks and jumping through stuff. And I'm like, you're just able to do it. So I can get out, I can be in nature. Now I don't hike nearly as much as Heather does, but it's not hard for me to do. I have the mobility, I have the endurance, I have the strength to do it. I can just go out, put a backpack on and just rip it for hours. And it's like, yeah, I did mobility in the morning just because I'm old and that's what I do. But by the time I'm done, it's 19,000 plus steps of hiking all through the wilderness and to places where I never would go. I wouldn't have access to. I go, but because I'm fit, because you're mobile, you can see it, you can be there. And yeah, it's a workout, but you're not completely dead and exhausted. And you're not like nervous. Can I climb up this thing? Can I climb down this thing? And so that's where like all the skills we have inside the gym do translate outside. And that shit has nothing to do with deadlifting. It has really nothing to do with split squatting or bench pressing. There's other skills there that we've built that do contribute to that. And usually it's the things that you don't think about. And the things that we used to think that probably, don't matter nearly as much. Like things like, oh, I'm going to put skater hops into my programming. Like how, you'd be like, I'm a pussy or that's so stupid. I'm like, well, but you need to move laterally, bro. Like you need to be able to balance. You need to be able to shift weight from one hip to the other. You need to be able to basically catch yourself and stop and start. Like that's what a lot of these things require. And that's not typically found I'm not saying don't do the traditional lifts, but just barbell back squatting or, barbell overhead pressing really doesn't help you do these other things outside of the gym other than I'm going to look a certain way, which is still super important. But if we're talking about performance, it's a lot of the things that most people tend to neglect in their training because it's skills they're not great at, and there's skills that are a little bit harder and look a little bit weirder in the gym if you're training in front of people, which you got to let that shit go and just actually do the things that are going to make you better, especially as you get older, because not that you won't care about what you look like, but, and I say this in all reality, I still obviously fucking care, but I care so much less now than I used to. Because again, most of the time I wear a long sleeve t-shirt or a hoodie, and that's just kind of how I go through life. I typically train that way. I don't, go places where I'm shirtless because I don't want to be that guy, like you're this fucking asshole walking around, especially when you're old. My beard is now white. And so it's like, now I'm the old fucking, what I'm saying? Like and I'm going to get off topic here, but I was at Natural Grocers the other day, and it's like, it's when it hits you, right? Like, and now. So I'm not saying like a 20-year-old, 25-year-old girl wouldn't notice me, like with the shirt off, like running down the street. But they don't care, because now if I don't shave close, a lot of my beard is white. Like it's not gray, it's white, like fucking Santa Claus, which is depressing. And so that's the world I'm in. So I'm at Natural Grocers, and I'm trying to check out. I just worked out here, so I'm sweaty. These Soda clothing shirts fit super tight, so you can actually see veins like through your cotton t-shirts, which is a good feeling when you're old. And I'm standing in line, and this lady's like, "Oh, are you a trainer or whatever?" I'm like, "I own a gym. It's just on the street here." Bullshit. We're just talking, and she's asking me, "How do I get rid of cellulite?" Like the typical questions. And she's like, "I can't, can I?" I'm like, "No, you're fucked." And she's talking. She's like, and that's what I said to her. And she's like, she looked great. She's 65 years old, and she looked amazing. And that's like, as I walk up, and I'm walking up to because the Natural Grocers, you check out here and then you walk up to the registers. And so I have to walk like probably 50 feet away from her. And after her and I are talking for probably 5 minutes and I'm walking away, she's like, and it's not fair. You have a nicer ass than me. And I'm like, oh, thank you very much. That's very polite. I'm wearing these sleeves separately joggers. It does all the work. And as I'm checking out, like that's when it hit me. I'm like, oh, this is who hits on me now. Like this is who thinks I'm attractive now. Like this is now the world I'm living in. I used to be these young people, and now I'm in this older bracket of like this is the like and that's where it really shifted. I'm like, okay, so not and it has nothing to do with what you look like or whatever. I go, but the importance of it for me when I was 22 to impress this younger group of people is completely died. My ego is in the trash years ago, and everything I do now is solely for me. Not that I don't want to look good, because I do, but the things I used to think I had to do for just physique training, I don't have. I guess I could spend 4 hours a day doing this shit, but I don't. I have other things in life that I really need to spend time on and I enjoy. So now it's like I'm going to do the bodybuilding type shit that I need to do and I want to do for vanity reasons. But there is this huge other piece that I spend time on because A, it makes me able to do the fucking heavy loading shit that I do, but it'll let me do stuff outside of the gym. It'll let me be pain-free. And it is a different challenge that I personally need that doesn't transfer to the outside world. And that's all comes back to you have to love the process and be okay with it, because nobody on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook gives a fuck that I've been trying to do the fucking splits for fucking 2 years. And I'm like, and I can only one leg in front, not only my right leg in front, not the left leg. That's never going to happen. Neither will the side splits. I go, but for 2 fucking years, I've been spending time doing that. And I'm like, that will mean a lot to me, but the outside world won't give a shit. And that's been one of the most challenging things I've physically done, is to try to go through that transformation. That doesn't translate into more money. That doesn't translate into views or likes or clicks. It'll end up being one photo, one time. Because it's not like I'm going to be, I'm not going to be Kelly. I can't just drop into the fucking splits anytime I want. I need to warm up for 42 minutes to get into it. And I'm going to keep the skill, and maybe eventually it gets better. But as long as I have this much muscle tissue on my body, and as long as I'm still training, every 2 steps I take forward, I take a step backwards. But it is something that I've worked on. And I guess the point is that if I'm going to give you guys any advice on training in general, it's like, just think outside of the box of what you've always done if you really want to make a change. And I'm not saying don't do the things like that make you look better and whatever. I go, but whether it's performance goals or mobility goals or somewhere in between, just that's the real challenge at this point, especially if you've been training for more than 10 years. Because there does come a point of where your lifts aren't going to go up. I know you don't want to hear that, but I'm not going to deadlift any more than I deadlifted. I'm not going to bench press any more weight than I bench press. Those days they're gone. All of the maximal loading is over for me. That's only a downhill trajectory. I can hold on to strength. I can do things. I go, but I have to do them smarter if I want to keep being able to do them. These other skills that I probably never really had, these are all new things for me. And they're all new challenges to keep training fresh and fun. And so I can sprinkle those in, mix the old school shit that I love to do with a lot of the new school shit. And that really is what like this program is about, and a lot of the stuff that you have done, because it's not me doing it. It's me looking at somebody else's training and saying, okay, yeah, I did that, but I didn't do it for this much time or this much cadence or sequence or whatever it may be. And so now I'm going to build that in. And that's can keep this journey fun and fresh for anybody, no matter what level you're at.
Oh, for sure, man. Look, this is the reality. Most men will finally make a breakthrough in their fitness when they stop training to impress other men. You got to go through the process. You know what my current bellwether is?
No.
Do I make 60-year-old women wet? If I'm doing that, then everything's going the right way. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm doing, because what would, and by the way, like, it's not as easy to get wet at that age. So I must be doing something extraordinary beyond being a younger man to that population. But I mean, I say that in jest, but like, this is just, because you can't get over it. Like, this is one of the biggest motivators, right? To procreate, to sexually excite. It's okay. That's why we're here. It blows my mind the shit I did when I was young that I thought was going to help me with that. It wasn't, because no one wants a big. There are some people that want a big Hulk. Not a lot of people. And by the way, like a big Hulk who can't touch his toes. Like what's the use? You're just coming. All you're doing is blocking doors, bro. And yeah, if you get in a situation where, like there's a bench press contest and you're a bench press specialist, yeah, you can show that off, but like no one really cares. So that is like that. If I look back, that has been one of the biggest shifts I've had is the moment you stop exercising to impress other man as a man, a lot of amazing things happen, right? Because then like you just actually focus on what your body needs. And when you focus on what your body needs and you give it kind of that complete approach and you don't become a one-trick pony, you become the most attractive version of yourself, no matter where you start. So that's what I mean, like in terms of bellwether. But, again, like I know it sounds, but I also don't think that's superficial because I think there's an energy you bring. You see it when you go to the beach, or like I'll have friends that like will still message me like their lifting accomplishments or feats, and I'm glad that gets them going. But it's like, but are you making 60-year-old women wet? Because if I'm looking at this, I can't even tell if I saw you in the street. I couldn't even tell if you worked out. Couldn't even tell. Well,
I mean, like again, like everybody, whatever gets you motivated to train, like obviously go do that. But you have to start asking yourself, especially the longer you do it, how do I feel? Like that has to play a role into it. And not that I don't get sore, not that I don't get tight, not that I don't get little nagging injuries and shit that comes my way. Like for sure, that's just part of like, ripping muscle tissue and just like, training, rebuilding, growing. I understand all that. I go, but I don't want to become less mobile. I don't want to have less endurance. I don't want to have like less flexibility. I don't want to have less stamina. And yeah, everything has an opportunity cost. And I think sometimes dudes get into this kind of shitty habit of like, well, I'm going to give up all these things for this thing. And if it's worth it to you, then that's great. I go, but I don't need to put up crazy lifting numbers that nobody cares about to, be injured or hurt or not mobile, especially if it's taking away from something else. And what you understand is like the longer you guys do train, you get more done with less for sure. And you can cut out a lot of the junk volume shit you were doing, and you can maintain and even make gains by doing less work than you used to do. Because again, you have logged all these miles already on the body. So workouts I do now sometimes that I think like, 10 years ago to me would have been bullshit. They probably would have, but I was, 10 years younger, had less shit going on in my life, and my body could recover and it could come back a lot quicker. Now it's like, I know when I have those days where I just like, I felt great and I thought I was, 28 again, I'll wake up the next day and it's like, well, now I can't really fucking train today the way that I want to because I'm so beat to shit. So now it's like, you just have to be more strategic about it. And that's coming from somebody who tries to prioritize sleep and nutrition and does the mobility work and has like the resources to roll and get massages and do all those things. And if you're not doing that and you're just going into the gym and jacking steel and beating the fuck out of yourself, and you notice like your knee hurts or your shoulder hurts or your elbow hurts and your ankle hurts, like maybe it's time to just have a smarter program and still do those things, but you could cut the volume down, in my opinion, for most people to a couple days a week and then sprinkle in these other skills that you suck at. And you'd be so much further along a year from now than you think you would be. And you're not going to lose whatever you think you're going to lose in the process, if that makes sense to people.
It does. And by the way, like, I don't mean to keep bringing it back to the 60-year-old woman example, but they like a natural look. Okay. Let's just be honest about it. And a lot of the style of stuff, like I was exchanging with you too, because I get hit with these 80s and 90s things a lot. And, like Jean-Claude Van Damme, bro, like that to me is like a physique goal for someone over 40. Because again, his approach was highly stretching, mobility focused, calisthenics, peak conditioning. Like, and the thing is, like a lot, like in your 20s, you want to look like Arnold. And then by the time you get to your 40s, I want to look like Jean-Claude Van Damme instead. Because I can't look like Arnold. Like, that's a different body. Like Arnold can't look like Arnold in his 40s. That's what I mean. Like your body, it's just a different. I have a different body. It's the same body I initially came into, but it shifted into a different body now. But then I'm like, you know what? I actually always would rather have looked like Jean-Claude Van Damme, because to look like Arnold came at such a cost. Because I went through my own Arnold phase of being fucking super strong and big, and dude, like there's just I had a lot of restrictions. I couldn't really do much outside the gym because I was recovering from the stupid shit I was doing in the gym. This is what I'm saying. Like the cost of it was like, oh, and now like having spoken with, because you know that was a big motivation for me, is being attracted to my wife, and before I met my wife, women in general. It's like, well, she wasn't attracted to that. She's attracted to this. This is my version of JCVD, right? Mobile, complete fitness, lean. To feed him doesn't cost an arm and a leg. Well, it does in this economy, but like if I ate the way I used to in this economy, bro, I would absolutely be working at a strip club right now to subsidize, because that's what it would take. 6 to 8 meals a day in this economy? No way. Not a chance.
Well, that's why, like, again, that's why I put on a t-shirt. Like, what did it cost you? Everything, bro. Like, it's those days of, again, like, don't get me wrong, like, looking like Arnold would have been great, but that was never going to happen anyway. Like, I would watch Jay Cutler videos. I would literally watch Jay Cutler DVDs of him just eating and training. And I'm like, that's what I need to be. And then I met Jay a bunch of times, but I remember the first time I met him, I'm like, oh, I'm a foot taller than you. Oh man, yeah, my wings.
Who wants to be 5 foot, 300 pounds?
Yeah, but like, and I'm watching, but it's some reason, like when in your head, when you're seeing it, you're like, oh, maybe he's 6'2" as well. Maybe his wingspan is 6'5", and like he's not. And it's just this thing. And even Arnold too. Like, yeah, if we're the same height, sure. But this motherfucker's 245. Like he's 245 and like, but perfect 245 in the way that you would want it to be distributed, in a way that genetically for you is never going to happen anyway. Where his pecs are 4 inches thick of just tissue. And it was just like perfect. And you would see that. And then you go the Van Damme route, which even for most people is still never going to fucking happen. Because it's like, he would do the splits in every movie for absolutely no reason, which is fucking awesome. And literally, you said that last night I got Heather on Righteous Gemstones, which we'll talk about in a second. But I had Prime on, and I buy all these movies to play here in the gym. So like all the old movies like you would watch, like we own them all. So like I'm playing them at any time, like all commercials, whatever. So like Old School, The Hangover, Rounders, Predator, Dark Knight, you name it, like they're all here. And we were playing Bloodsport the other day. So when I come in, it's always movie. I work out to movies. That's all I do now. I don't listen to music. It's just movies that play. I do all my mobility to movies. When they work out here in the gym, I play the movies I want to fucking watch because it's my fucking place. But anyways, last night I was here and I was going through Prime. Hard Target with Van Damme is that they play the trailer for it on it, and it's so, the acting is so fucking bad. It's like these dudes are trying to like steal this girl's car, or like maybe rape her or something, and then he pulls up, and it's like, and you just know the era of time because it's like they always do the shit where it's like the shit you can't say anymore. He's like, why don't you grab you and your boyfriend and get the fuck out of here? And it's like all this like gay shit, and it's fucking prime Van Damme. But my point is, like, you look at him, obviously he becomes shirtless within the first like fucking 10 minutes. And he was the shit. Like, he is this kind of mold of like what, and to get off topic, but on topic, my mom dated this dude for, I think like 10, at least like 10 years. No joke, like looked like Van Damme. Like could have been his fucking brother. Like he was, and he
could have been a double impact.
Yeah, exactly. So, fucking twin brother. So anyways, this dude was like, he's probably 6'2". He was all juiced up for sure. But he was jacked. Like he was ripped. He looked fucking great. He looked like Van Damme. And my mom, like, was a Van Damme fan. So like, as I was a kid, like we would watch all these Van Damme movies. I'm like, well, you're dating his fucking brother. Isn't this great? But he was, in real life, he's got to be what? 5'10", 175, 180 pounds, but perfect, mobile, fit, flexible, and pretty much like what every dude would want to be. Like, I always describe that for people. And there's a dude here, our buddy Jeff is probably what it is. He's 6 feet tall, 180-ish pounds, super lean, looks like a fucking Ken doll. That's what chicks love. Like that's kind of the standard. And I know dudes think it's like, well, Jeremy, you're 200 pounds or whatever. I go, yeah, bro, but I've had to die. I've had to die 10 times to get to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like I always use this example. Like you see like a yacht with like 50 girls and like you see a dude. What did those girls have to do to get on that yacht? Nothing, but just be beautiful. The fucking guy on that yacht had to die 10 times to fucking be there, right? And that's how I feel about being this old and being over 200 pounds and being like ripped and muscular. I've had to die 10 times to be here. And it has cost me everything and then some. Where this motherfucker can be 180 and that's just fine. And that's probably what the average person should aim for, is this more kind of all around, like you can run, you can jump, you can lift, you can do all the things and you look good, but you're not overly muscular and it isn't costing you everything both inside and outside the gym. Now, obviously it's easier for me at 200 pounds than it was at 220 because it was my entire existence and my entire life every day, all the time. And now there is some flexibility and some freedom as I get older and just understanding the process. But I do think a lot of people who are into fitness kind of fall into that trap of like, well, I have to be this. And it's like, these numbers are just arbitrary and they're made up. And we all have them. You have them. I have them. But you got to be realistic with like where you're at on your fitness journey too, and what you're willing to give and what it's going to take from you on both ends.
Yeah, man. What's your favorite Van Damme movie, by the way?
Of all time, I like a lot of them. It's not going to be a popular answer, the one I'm going to give here. If I could only watch, like if I was, hey, which is the one you want to pick and watch today? Either Time Cop or Universal Soldier.
Okay. I mean, I love both. I mean, I like all his movies, but for me, it was Lionheart. For some reason,
Lionheart,
that was my favorite fucking one. I don't know why, but just there's some pretty crazy fight scenes, like the one in the half-filled pool.
Oh, it's great.
That one. There's just some really good fight scenes, but yeah, man. Like look at the delts. Look at as one of the best delts in the game I'm talking to right now. Like the delts on Van Damme, like you can see every part of the deltoid developed. Again, just like peak conditioning and but also like physically the number of spin kicks. Like I mean, I'm doing my own version of JCVD in the pool, like because I can do that shit in the pool. Now, when I get on land, it's a different story, but maybe someday. But no, I just think he's a great example. And again, he's right in the mix with like, you know, Stallone and Arnold going through those times. Ultimate, I mean, dude, just like what an era of action heroes.
Dude, I think about it all the time. Like I've watched Predator fucking 200 times. If I watched it once, I've watched Predator 200 times. Now, if you're younger, maybe you don't get this, or if you're super old, maybe you don't get this. If you watch that movie and you don't want to go fucking Jack Steele, like I don't even like, you and I aren't friends. Like we'll never get along. Like I'll say hi to you for sure, but we're two different people, bro. Like you watch Carl Weathers and you watch Arnold fucking just in the middle and just two dudes just flexing off like, see, I got you pushing too many pencils. Like it's just the fucking greatest scene in a movie, and everybody in the movie is jacked. It's amazing. Like there's super jacked dudes, but even the dudes who are skinnier, they're ripped too. Like it's all time, bro. Like I'll always be a bro. I'll always deep down, like I'll love it. I'll never, it's why I still do this. It's because I still think it's cool. Like at whatever level, like it doesn't mean I'm not talking bodybuilding shit, but I'm like, I just appreciate the work that it is to be just in shape, in all shape. It doesn't have to be bodybuilding shit or aesthetically. It can be CrossFit. It can be fucking, you're a marathon runner, whatever it is. I'm like, just the dedication it takes to do it. And I just happen to think this is cool. Like, that's why I make the shit that I make. And that's why I keep showing up. Cause I'm like, this is at whatever level, as much as I don't like a lot of the things about the fitness industry and social media and just fucking people's buying habits, whatever it may be, I'm like, this is still cool. Like, you could take everything from me, man. Like, if I can still do this, like, at least I have a reason to like get up, you know, like in all seriousness, like I can't control a lot of shit in the world in my life. I go, but I can, even on the days I don't feel good, I can control this shit. Like I can come in here, and even if I just am a complete fucking turd, I can do mobility and I can do bicep curls and push-ups and still have a little bit of self-confidence and feel good about myself. And I'm like, it's just, if you're a dude, it's just like, it's your thing. And I think if you can find that in fitness, like you can keep going at whatever level, and you'll find new stuff, but you got to find the things that jack you up. And for me, it's still the old school 80s and 90s shit, man.
Speaking of Carl Weathers, we spoke about him last time because he had passed recently before, so obviously rest in peace. But they did an in memoriam on the BET Awards, and it was like Carl Weathers and then O.J. Simpson.
Oh, Jesus, man.
Bro. So who didn't get the memo about that? But so there was a big controversy because at the time of recording this, it happened last week. But I just think, like, you're going to play Carl Weathers like that?
I mean, all he gave us, bro.
God, who came first, but they were in succession. So someone got fired.
That's bad. That's actually really bad.
That's unacceptable. Rest in peace to all, but that was unacceptable. So you want to close it out with we were going to talk about some of our favorite ab exercises and close it out. Is that what it was?
Sure, dude. Yeah, which like all like the shit that like that I do here. Like if you want to say like kind of the like direct ab work stuff that I do, the biggest ones, probably I do use the ab wheel. To be honest with you, it's the one thing like where if I find myself not doing it for extended periods of time and I come back to it, it crushes me. Because it will actually rip the tissue. Like it's one of the few things that really will create like the micro tears, like in like rectus, at least that I've found for sure. I mean, you could do decline, like loaded sit-ups and things like that, I guess. But the ab wheel, for what it's worth for people, if you can get one, it's one of the best actual tools, in my opinion. I do a ton of carries. I really do. Single arm stuff, double arm stuff, all the different variations, rack carries, overhead carries. We build a lot of them into our Sunday groups, honestly, because I'm like, it's something that I need to do. And honestly, what I do is it's just like how you do your kind of version of every hour on the hour. It's in kind of how we microdose mobility here. I do like a lot of sled pulls and pushes, and we'll do a lot of plate loading. So I'll get up to we use the Rogue sleds here, the way like 200 or the way 100 pounds by themselves, and I'll go anywhere, maybe 6 plates, 7 plates, whatever it may be, just so I can get up to some heavy work. Knock on wood, I don't rupture my fucking Achilles one of these days. But what I'll do is when I take the plates back to the rack, I always overhead carry them every single time. So you're talking an extra 30 yards. And I know it sounds arbitrary, but if I'm loading on 6 plates and I'm taking off 6 plates, that's 12 different, essentially, reps I did of overhead carries. And I do that with a lot of my dumbbell work. When I put dumbbells back, like I'll single arm carry it around the room, set it back. I do a ton of those variations. I will do a lot of the almost like the body saws, like so your plank positions, but with your feet on the sliders, trying to keep the hips neutral and keep everything braced. Those actually are really difficult, even for me. The hanging stuff I do, I'll do a lot of the mobility stuff, but I will do the hanging knee raises. I try to slow and control them, not so much toes to bar, but I just try to slow those down for the most part. And honestly, for direct ab stuff, other than that, halos is probably one of the biggest thing. And then just the rotational tosses, just because we have the cinder block walls here, and I can throw shit at it as hard as I can. But those are probably the biggest direct ones that I do, other than like if I jump into your stuff, because you do things that I wouldn't think of off the top, other than you did share, we did it in our group the other day, and I realized how bad people were really quick. And usually I can gauge by how I am, but sometimes I'm off. And it was the just a single arm dumbbell sit-up, essentially, that you do. Feet wide on the ground, offhand, kind of like you do a Turkish get-up, essentially, and trying to keep that essentially loaded hand, even if it's not loaded. A lot of people here did body weight, 5 to 10 pounds, crush them, but keep that upper arm vertical, which is very hard to do because people just want to forward reach because it's much easier, and then control the eccentric on the way down. So like those single arm, because it's tough, even for me, with 10 to 15 pounds to keep your body braced on the ground and not basically have it lift you off the earth. Those are tough. So those are probably my biggest ones on a weekly basis.
I love it, man. No, yeah, actually, it's funny you mentioned that too, because again, it's just so funny how it's like the timeless stuff. Love the abs wheel. Obviously, it's I program it in the workouts, and a lot of the slider stuff can mimic the ab wheel action. And what's also interesting too is, so I'm going to take that as a challenge also to kind of do them. I'm really good at doing them on the knees, but I want to be able to do them full on the toes. That's kind of the next level. So that's something I want to add into the mix. But also like a good ab wheel to just try to hold an ab wheel plank. Go out there full range and just see if you can make it 30 to 60 seconds and breathe through it. All the overhead stuff, whether you're carrying weights overhead or hanging leg raises, like ab wheel, it's the ultimate core. One thing I've been working in a lot recently too, because I told you, we both, it seems like I'm a year ahead of you in terms of injuries, but I hurt my lower back. I know you did too. And so I invested in an inversion table, worked that almost daily for a year. And I mentioned before we started recording, like I had this moment where like a couple months ago where like something just adjusted. Like I was getting daily benefits, weekly, monthly, accruing the benefits, but like something finally shifted in my pelvis. And like there was and I was like, oh fuck, am I done? Like, do I have to call 911 right now? And it's like, oh, whoa. And it's like, wow, there it was. I think another example, like it took me a year of offsetting like all of the compressive efforts of powerlifting, all the stuff I'd done up until that point, to get that release, to be able to relax the muscles enough, breathe through it enough. So I just invested in some inversion boots. And so now I'm doing a lot of inverted spinal training, which is amazing because like when you do sit-ups, and by the way, like it's basically like foot to head strength. Like hangs, all the hanging movements, pull-ups, that type of stuff, hanging leg raises, that's hand to foot strength. This is foot to hand because the anchor, right? So it just impacts the pelvis differently. Like the hang affects the shoulder and the way that inversion affects the hip. Like, so if you have like true pelvic lumbar spine issues, you're not going to get the same, like hanging will help, especially if you like squeeze a medicine ball between your legs, as it kind of enhances the weighted load of the traction effect. But in terms of how it will actually impact the pelvis, it's next level. But when you're doing sit-ups inverted, you're training that pattern in a decompressed state. And by the way, it's all stress. Like if you're new to inversion, you got to start with like a minute at a time. And the beauty of like a table with adjustants, you can start with like a 10-degree inversion and build progressively to being fully inverted. And it's got the stability that the table offers, like hanging free hang, like it's complete spinal stabilization, and you can move in all directions. You can extend from it. Like, so it's a new journey. I'm looking forward to it. Even doing just 3 to 5 reps a day, like hanging sit-ups, like trying to get toes to bar. That's a pretty good ab workout and built-in spinal work. I've also been doing more anchored sit-ups lately because I've got this device that allows you to do it, the sled. It's the sled. By the way, maybe the best piece of home gym equipment I've ever used. It's an endless sled plus you can do dips, pull-ups, Russian leg curls, sit-ups, Bulgarian split squats. It's incredible. And the anchoring is actually, it's been really nice to do because I used to do a lot of those in my heavy powerlifting days. I used to do a lot of weighted sit-ups. And then I completely got away from them because, we got into this industry where we're like, don't move your spine.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, don't move your spine. It causes back pain. In reality, it just seems to cause it and open you up to a world of pain because your body's unprepared for unique movements or just its true natural patterns. So I've been doing a lot of incorporating some more decline sit-ups, weighted, not even weighted yet, but just like, very slow, controlled, adding twists. I've been doing a lot more back extension work because I got a machine recently. Just really, especially on days like where my knees are swelled up and I can't do like as much of other stuff, I can always do core work. And what's interesting too is especially like the bent, even the straight-legged ones. It's been really therapeutic for the knee too, because you're isometrically having to engage the muscles around the knee when you're anchored, when your feet are anchored when doing sit-ups. Yeah. So yeah, it just, sometimes some movements from the past. And by the way, like I got some ab straps because just a nice way you get a little more stability and leverage from the ab strap, and it's not grip limiting. So I'm just finding ways to get more unique angles or ranges of motion or variations on some of the leg raise work. I do stuff I'm going to be sharing as I work through it. And then maybe, you want to give your grip a rest on a day, calluses or just they need a break. But these are all these are like old school shit, like the ab wheel, ab straps, all the bar work. I do my handstands right here. Right now I'm kind of in a headstand phase to build the neck strength. It's also just to help in case I fall for my inversion, build that strength there. But yeah, just some fun stuff. And again, it's all, and a lot of the bodyboarding stuff I'll do too. When I wait between waves, sometimes I'll get into a V-sit in the water and kind of like compress against the board, kind of like compression training, as they would call it in gymnastics. But I can do it for a very long period of time and get a really nice, good muscle burn and contraction because I'm in the water. Yeah, man. So just and by the way, like you say, you don't do planks. You do planks all the time when you do dips and you do hangs. It's just these are advanced planks that are a little more entertaining than just like looking at the earth.
Well, yeah, or if you do like when you do and I still will do, I'll still do barbell work. I just don't do like nearly as much as I would. But I like when I do barbell curls. Essentially, it's a standing plank, bro.
Oh,
like
yeah.
If you
next level.
Yeah. So like I'll do those. And I will with the pool shit. I never used to do anything. And you sent me all the pool stuff, which is legit, by the way. Especially on days where it's like, again, like I never used to have elbow pain ever. And it's like now you get this stupid, it's just overuse or just being old or combo of the two. But using that stuff in the pool is great. But even just being in the pool and like doing like 10 years ago, dude, I never would have went in the pool other than just to chill. And now it's like, not that I'm not doing that, but like I can be there and just do essentially hip cars, in the pool. And I can work on, the side splits that will never happen in the pool and just work on, simple groin adductor adduction, like in the pool, like just working through space and just working on a simple hip flexion extension, just kind of mimicking like marching, and not like I'm dying in a workout, but I'm just moving my body around and I'm moving the joints around. And that's stuff that I used to think when I was probably 25 was bullshit. And this isn't even exercise. And this is just a fucking waste of time. And like, you can't just do that, obviously, and look the way you want probably and perform the way you want. And I go, but those are great additions to what you are already doing. And they're probably things you should do. Again, I don't think it's like strength is never a weakness. Weakness is never a strength type thing, where the more you can move your body around dynamically through all planes of motion, whether it's in the water, on land, or anywhere in between, I think is beneficial for everybody. And those are low hanging fruit things where it's like to really go through and do like hip cars, whether it's kneeling, standing, whatever it may be. Like you have to work, especially when it's on dry land. Like you're sweating if you're really trying. Like when you really do mobility, you guys, it's fucking hard. It's not really fun because I'm trying to like articulate a real change. So like when I'm working on doing a pancake, right? Because I actually have hamstrings and an ass, it's fucking tight. And for whatever reason, this left leg is so much tighter than the right. When I'm coming forward, it's trembling and I'm sweating, especially if I'm trying to flex my quads. It's not easy to do. And that's active stuff. And in the pool, it's not that it's passive, but it's much easier to do. And I can get 50 reps in on a leg in the pool, and on the other, so I can get 100 reps in total. And it's like I didn't even do any work whatsoever. To do that here in the gym, I have to dedicate an insane amount of time, and it's so taxing. I mean, by the time I get done with the mobility, it's like, do I even have energy to work out? So it's like if you can kill two birds with one stone, if you're lucky enough to live in a place that has a pool or the weather, allows you to do that, those are low hanging fruit things. So if you guys do have access to like a Lifetime or a YMCA or something, I think it's worth it to hop in the pool and do some of that stuff, especially on like if it's active recovery days or just if your low back is stiff, I promise you your hips are stiff. They're glued together. They're one and the same, dude. So if you're anybody, that would be my advice to you. And this is coming from somebody who's came back from L3, L4, L4, L5, L5S1, bulge, unroofing, compression issues. Just getting ahead of that stuff and letting your hips be loose and be mobile can save you a lot of, bullshit down the road?
Dude, like I have a 20-minute hip flow I do to start every day in the pool. And the hurdle, I basically just do hurdles. I recommend it definitely starting hands on the wall so you get the stability. But, you know, just basically doing both clockwise and counterclockwise or internal, external rotation, just hurdles and getting that motion. And you want to get to the point where you can do it in its full arc without ideally hearing anything. Dude, when I first started doing it, it was like, and I could just feel, because again, that capsule just gets locked down and it gets calcified. And, you know, here's the thing, like, before you climb the pyramid, you want to be bulletproof. You don't want to get to the top of the pyramid and then now, okay, I've got to bulletproof my body, because it's too difficult. You've already developed all the tensions and tightness and, you know, compensatory mechanisms to get there. So on work, you basically then, like, you can't. You have to basically come back down. So instead, I'm going to save you a trip. Stay down here where everyone else is. Bulletproof your body, and then you can always climb as high as you want. But like you said, these are like the simple things. Like you can squat 500 pounds, but can you lift your leg over a dog fence? Like, can you do it? And then, if you can, what do you hear? How does it feel? And if it's noisy and painful, like, wow, man, this is a real problem. And again, I love to start my day with light, easy stuff. Like, I know some people have to do hard stuff to start the day, but it's just I think it's so counterproductive. It just goes against the natural rhythms of the body, especially as you age, because the first hour of the day, you are most susceptible to injury, especially the spine. And, you know, I always feel my worst in the first hour of the day. But if I go through as I always do, my morning routine, which is always finishes in the pool, you feel like $1 million. And just a way to check in on your body. I know, again, not everybody has pool access at home, but there are 10 million people own pools in the U.S. alone. So there's a lot of people with pools, and almost every quality gym does have some pool access. So hurdles in the pool, bro, you get continuous fluid. There's like literally, there's so many movements you can name. You can't find a better way to do it than in the pool. You get resistance throughout the entire range of the exercise. And you don't even have to add like the fins or anything like that. You add fins to it, and now there's some real strengthening demands. And literally, like, my hips are night and day from where they were even a year ago. From just, like you said, flexion, extension, the circles or the hurdles, whatever you want to call them, feel so good. And then you do your dry land training, and now my knees and legs have never lifted higher on my hanging leg raises. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just completely unlocks the range of motion, and neurologically, it gives you like a confidence to be able to go to those ranges of motion, because you can build them in the pool. The splits, you can work on that in the shallow end of the pool.
Yes.
And build up you take advantage of some of the unloading. But, you know, again, because I share a lot of stuff. I share stuff in the pool year round, but like specifically during the summer. And it just really, like, there's always a mouth breathing meathead that's like, this is pointless. And so, dude, you come with me. Let me take you through my arm routine in the pool. I have never had a better arm pump. I come out of the pool and it's like, and just the contractions, the mind muscle connections. And again, it's just like, it never bothers my elbow. It's like I didn't do anything for my joints, but my muscles are like, they just feel incredible. And, you know, I don't have to worry about weights, because there's so many ways you can change it, whether you're going faster, slower, duration, stacking movements. So it just, if you're those watching on YouTube, I got a pool training playlist, and there's going to be a lot more to come, but like, just, it's such a way to heal the body and just work on all the stuff that maybe you're struggling with on land that you just can't do yet because of just, you're exposed to the full powers of gravity.
Well, and just for people, like, if you get off the pool shit, because I know people are like, what did I go? And I know, dude, I used to think the same thing. I used to be like, why would I ever, that's ridiculous. Like, why would I ever go in there? But if you're somebody who, if you're a person who really, really trains, like hard, you probably are not doing as much mobility and tissue work as you need to stay injury free over time. It's just the reality. And for people who just struggle with mobility in general, it's the easiest way for you guys to do it. That's the only way, because I still work with humans in person, and it's the one, like, dude, it's not my workout. It's obviously I create everything here, but it's theirs. If I'm serving steak and you want to order fucking salmon, by all means, dude, like eat the salmon, bro, even though the steak is what you're supposed to eat here. What I mean by that is people will come in here and they'll make up their own workout, basically. Like that's not what we do here, but like that's what they'll do. I don't mind. It's like if you don't want to do split squats and you need to like, roll out your calves, I think that's a smart move. You made a good call today. You weren't being a dummy. What I do have here is people who like don't want to do the couch stretch for 2 minutes and they want to sit and do fucking bicycle crunches for 2 minutes instead. And I don't know how to say it, because you're the paying customer, so you can do what you want, but I know more than you do. Like, I'm smarter than you. Like, I've made all the mistakes that you're going to make. And if I can get injured, you are going to. Like, it's not if, it's like when. And people don't want to do it. And I'm asking for 2 minutes. I'm asking you to stretch your quads and your hip flexors for 2 fucking minutes because you sit in a seat for 9 hours a day and then you sit on your couch for another 4 hours a day. So I'm asking for 2 fucking minutes for you to actually be like in hip extension, right? Versus God forbid you be in hip extension for 2 minutes. Other than like walking, and even that, I don't know if you really do get, because your strides are probably shit because you're not really walking that much. My point is that if you're somebody who is that, like you just despise stretching and mobility and doing that, and you're not going to go do Pilates or yoga for 90 minutes, if you can get in a pool for 20 minutes and just do some fucking arm circles, my God, like move your legs around, bring your knee towards your chest, try to get your heel to your butt. Like, I know it sounds overly simplistic. But those things will allow you to do all the other shit that you love to do and that you think are way more important, hopefully for the rest of your life. Because like to the example you gave, 500 pounds, at some point there's going to be a time where you can't squat 500 pounds anymore unless you're a genetic freak. And there's going to come a time where you don't want to or you don't need to. But there'll always be a time where you need to lift your leg over a fucking hip gate. Excuse me, like a dog gate. Or you need to go up a flight of stairs or down a flight of stairs. And not that the squatting isn't important, because it is. But the mobility to get into the positions and move around, you're going to have that until you're dead. And a lot of times we give up that in lieu of something else we think is important today for something that's going to be super important tomorrow. And that would be my takeaway for anybody. Not saying don't do the other work, but just carve out some time for this. And if you do hate mobility stuff, it's way easier to move in a body of water than it is on dry land for most people, especially if you have limited range of motion and you're super tight and you're super stiff, which is most fucking dudes over the age of 30 years old.
Yeah, no, look, man, I shared a video of me. Basically, it looks like I'm in a push-up position and a pool noodle like hands on a pool noodle suspended in the water, and I'm basically doing mountain climbers. So it's like, it's truly suspended climbers. Like, I've got to stabilize on the noodle. Obviously, it's not my full body weight, but I am I'm doing hip flexions, extensions against the resistance of the water, and I've got to balance on this pool noodle. And one of the first comments was, "No, man, no, bro, that's for some big ass people. You're too fit to do this." And it's like, well, but why do I look and feel better than ever at almost 42? And this is what I actually do a lot of. Explain that to me. Like, because people think the pool is for the injured, the overweight, and the infirmed, or the elderly. And it is, but it's really for everyone. And if you have the younger you are that you can get into the pool, it just unlocks everything you do on land. And I have, like you, I have lots of days where it's nonstop work. And I look at the clock and it's 4, I'm fucking starving. And I'm like, I got 20 minutes. I know my dog has to play. I just go jump in the pool. I set a countdown timer and I throw the ball. She gets it. When she's bringing the ball out and bringing it back, I do an exercise. It could be curls. It could be tuck jumps. It could be running in place. It could be all the shit we talked about. And then in 20 minutes, she gets a workout. I get a workout. No warm-up was required. I feel great. And again, like, the way you can exert yourself in the water is just next level, because you're not getting any joint stress, and you really don't know how much you've done until you've left the water. And you get out, it's like, holy shit. Like, I literally moved every which way, all planes of motion. I got resistance in all directions. Feel amazing. And had I not had this option, I may not have done anything. Or I would have found myself in a situation where, like, you know, now you're cutting into other things you have scheduled, whether it's dinner with the family or stuff like that. So even if you just want to use it during the summer, during the warm months, just to stay cool, that's enough of an incentive. You know, it just annoys me because people always ask, like, what do you do? It's like, okay, I make all these workouts for you. I've done them before. I don't currently do them, but I've done them before. You can do them. And I made them for you exactly as it makes sense for you, short on time, all everything contained. But then you ask me what I do, and then I share it, and it's like, oh, that's not for you. That's for fucking old people. Well, first, I'm old, but also, you know, like, I don't know a lot of people, you know, that can do what I do at almost 42. So, I don't know. The water has really been especially on days where I've got inflammation in my knee. It's sometimes the only option for me. So I don't know, man. I hope to like get it out there that like, this is not just for like old, fat, injured people. Like it is ideal for those types of people, but hopefully you don't have to get to that point. You can use it as a way to not have to get to that point. And then you will at some point, like, you know, you and I, if we're lucky enough to be 80, like, you know, we're going to need more pool days than land days, bro. It's just a fact. So
Well,
you
yeah,
might as well get good at it.
Well, and the last thing I'll say with the pool stuff, I use that the pool example is the same as I gave earlier, where people will see me like, and I don't take my phone with me most times now when I go anywhere because I hate it. And the older I get, I just become more and more like Ron Swanson. It's getting bad. And like kind of Ron Swanson mixed with Clint Eastwood from Gran Torino. Like it's just it's a bad mix because it's too much. Like all the things we do. Anyways, I used to always take my phone on me when I would ruck, and like listen to a podcast or whatever, and I'd make a video talking to people, and I still will once in a while because I know people like it, and if I have something to say meaningful, I know it helps people, especially when they're having a shitty day, whatever. But people will see me walking around out here hot as fuck, like, oh, that's super hard for him. I'm like, it's not hard for me to do. I like the heat for one. I understand the benefits of loaded walking now, especially as I'm older, especially if you're trying to like maintain your leg size and carry load and how many calories you do burn and what it allows you to eat actually, you know, in your day, if you eat as well as, you know, we do. And then if you want to eat like shit, it really doesn't fucking matter. Because you've put all this stress on the body, which really didn't tax it as much as you think it did, but the calorie burn is there. So people will see that as like, oh, that's really hard what he does. I'm going to go get a heavy ass ruck and walk around too. And that seems like it's badass. And it is in its own right. But if I go, my pool is 10 feet deep. So it used to be a diving board there. Obviously we took it out because I'm not trying to die, but I'll go to the deep end of the pool and try to tread water for like 5 minutes, dude. And nothing will humble you faster than being in the middle of a pool that's 10 feet deep and your big, heavy, dense ass is trying to tread water for just 5 minutes. And then you realize real quick, like how vulnerable you are in the water and like, you're not as strong or as fit as you think you are because I'm smoked, bro. Like literally at the end, you're just like within 30 seconds, I'm like, how much time is left? And you're out there and you're like, this is extremely easy on my joints, but it's taxing for my body. And now I have to figure out how to breathe, how to control myself, and how do I actually move my body around here so I don't sink and I can have how much energy I need to have for the next actually 5 minutes. So that's my last kind of pool take. It comes back to the things that you think are badass and hard, not that they're not. I go, but ask yourself, like, are they really hard for you, or do they just the optics of it look hard, but what really is challenging for you? And that's something for me as I'm older, I have nobody else left to impress. Whatever I've done, I've done. If you think I'm great, cool. If you think I fucking suck, I'm an old man. I don't give a fuck. I go, and I'm already married, and so that's that. So I'm like, now it's like, what are the things that really do challenge me that I work on it? And literally it's all the things that I used to think made you a pussy and were soft when I was younger, because again, to your example of, you don't want to get to the top of the pyramid and have to work your way back down. But that's exactly what I did. That's how I did everything in sports. That's how I did everything in my physical body, just the timing of when we grew up and how we did fitness. And it was just backwards. We know way more now than we used to. And so I'm sharing this not to like to tell you that, you know, what you're doing is wrong, but all the mistakes that I did make. So the fact that I even can functionally move and I look this way is a fucking miracle. It really is. I don't know if that's genetics or luck or all of it mixed together, but there's no way I should still look this way and be essentially injury free in my 40s with doing everything backwards in the way that I did it. So I'm sharing it to you guys from a point of don't be dumb and get yourself hurt and do stupid things. This is coming from a place of, the odds of you making it to the top is highly unlikely if you don't start putting some of these pieces into your training sooner than later.
And look, man, to finish off the pool piece. So did you guys do the skier today at your Sunday Metcon?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the difference between going like this, repeatedly standing with something, versus doing that in the water, where actually now you get resistance both ways?
Yes.
It's a better movement. It's as if swimmers don't have the best lat development in the fucking game. People just like to forget that. Or the assault bike. What is treading water? It's moving both the arms and legs simultaneously, continuously.
All four limbs. Yeah.
All four limbs. And by the way, like that's actually, I had this same moment, bro, like, because my wife is super buoyant and my wife can't even get to the bottom of the pool. Like if I jump, I can get down there. I do lizard walks at the bottom of the pool, bro. It's easy, especially if I empty my lungs. But I had the same thing where like I did like, my wife and I did a competition, and this was about 8 feet, I think. And my current pool, the deepest is in the middle, only 5 feet. So it's almost impossible for me to tread water because you can, the deeper it is, the easier to tread. You get more buoyancy that pushes you up. But also just, again, what's hard, what's naturally difficult for you to do becomes the optimal thing to work at, because the benefits are just insane. Because for someone like you and I, literal 200-pound rocks to stay at water level, like, dude, it takes a complete concert of cardio, metabolic, muscular work, neurological work to keep that in motion. So I can only go like, I went 75 seconds and I thought I was going to die. I just could not stay. So I'm like, this is a problem, bro, especially if I want to go bodyboarding.
So, dude, it is so fucking hard. It is.
Dude, yeah, like I'm one riptide away from like absolutely drowning. Because like if I get out there and like, how am I going to stay up, especially if I don't have the board? So, but like I said, it blows my mind. Like you cycle, but like you won't go off to the edge of the pool and actually give yourself a continuous resistance both ways, always, to just develop, the hip drive to do it properly. So again, like it's funny, but it's also like this whole knees over toes movement that's happened the last couple of years. It's like, really? Like you thought it was so dangerous for your knees to go forward all this time. I know like we couldn't show that stuff, but like they've been doing this. Like it's an impossible thing to not do for the knee to go over the toe. But like, and then it finally breaks through. So like, the water is I believe in the water, not only because I have it and it's the only option on some days and it enhances everything I do on land. But, I hope to be a part of popularizing it for beyond just being a swimmer and beyond like only use it when you're new, injured, or like, it's not just cardio for the elderly. Like I've had some of my best workouts in there. They really push you. And like I said, like, are you really fit? I was like, dude, are you really fit? Because you can't even tread. So I started using a pool noodle. And it's like, if my ego was there, it's like I could not, especially a pink pool noodle. It's like, bro, you're going to use a pink pool noodle? It's like, yeah, because don't forget, I actually at some point have to come out of the water. And then my work speaks for itself. I'm still a brick shit house coming out of the water. So something must be working. But yeah, no, that's where it's like, are you really fit if you can't tread water? Probably not. Like it's not just like can you or can't you swim? It's like, wow, you don't have the ability to like coordinate your wind. It's like It's kind of crazy. Like this is like any kid can just do. You put some fucking. Why is it so hard? It's like, oh, this is definitely a gap. So anyway,
that's what. Again, I'll leave everybody with this. Like it's easy for me to ride the assault bike for 5 minutes. It's easy for me to, dude. I've fucking rode a marathon in 3 hours. Like I've done all these ridiculous dumb things and all these fucking arbitrary made up machines here. Like they're all made up. Like it's no more real than anything else. And like just because Concept 2 put a name on it, like we can make it cool and we can get people to want to be good at it. Like we're gonna track our. I think I just did a video yesterday. Like, what's your 2K row time? Like this arbitrary made up distance of just misery and shit, and it's fucking terrible. And I can do it pretty fast. I go, it's way easier for me to row a 2K, bro, at a 630 clip, which is fucking insane for a normal person to do. And do I feel like shit afterwards? Yeah, it steals probably 3 days from me, to do that. And it took a long time to learn that skill. I'm like, but it's still harder for me to tread water for the same amount of time because I physically can't do it. Like this other thing I can physically do. I can do these things for, even if I go slow, I can do it for a long time. I'm not even trying to do anything fast. I'm not even trying to swim long. Like, how long can I swim for then? If I can't tread water for 5 minutes, how long can I really swim for? I don't know. Like I can't imagine it could be a whole hell of a lot longer. No. Like maybe slightly, but could I swim for, without like training, like for like an Ironman or something, could I swim for 10 minutes in a row? I don't know, bro. Like I wouldn't want to, I'd have to do it in a pool. I wouldn't try it in open water for sure. Like, that's what I mean, where it's like these, we think we're, and again, most of you probably don't give a shit if you can swim or whatever I go, but the point is like, it's movement, it's exercise, it's something that probably a skill you want to have. And it is a test of how fit you are. And that's where it's like, some of these other things are going to come and go, but this is something you can probably use forever. And it's just nice to fill holes kind of in your fitness game, to be like, what can I really do, with all of these quote unquote skills I've worked on in the gym, and some of them transfer to real life and some of them don't. So, and it's also humbling. And it's nice to, if you're somebody who's not going to do PRs on your bench anymore or whatever, it's like, well, can I work on these other things to see, where I'm really at?
Yeah, man. Like I'm like a kid in the pool. Like literally, like I'm using flotation devices to build up, just like you guys listening are trying to get into the land training, like the shit I did when I first started. Yeah, we all have to start somewhere. And I might be 42 and doing this, and you might think that's kind of like sad. Like there are people that say it's like these motherfuckers can't tread water, because I know most people listening can tread water, no problem. But they don't. Again, like we all have.
If you're a dude and you're listening to this and you are anywhere north of 185 pounds and your body fat is under 10%, I think it's going to be rough for you to tread water for 5 straight minutes. And I could be wrong. Like if you're on fucking SEAL teams, yeah, sure. But we weren't. Like, it's just like, if you're dense, like if you have low body fat, you do not float very well. And you might know this, you might not know this. Like if you're a heavier guy and you're mostly muscle, you sink, bro, really quick. And it takes, Heather could do it for sure. I go, but I'm not a girl. I'm not a small woman. I'm a fucking bigger dude. Like it's way harder than people think. And I know it's like, people think I've lost my mind. I'm like, but I haven't, dude. Like I've been trying to get better, and it's really, really tough.
You've got fucking rocks for shoulders. It's just, it doesn't, but no. It becomes then like the most intense thing you can put your body through because of that. Just like body weight training is harder for guys like you and I that are bigger, longer. But what's great too about going to the Pacific Ocean, I try to go once a week during the summer now, is it's so much more buoyant in there than it is in my pool. So it's like, I just feel like I'm enhanced every time I go to the beach. Like it's so much easier to tread water. But no, it's a next level challenge. Plus, like you have to, like your breathing has to be so properly shallow, because if you're doing big inhales and exhales, trying to tread water, you're going to be like a bobby, because you just keep going up and down. So you can't keep your head above water. As your lungs empty and close, you keep going up and down. So it's just, that's what I mean. It's like it looks like it's something like not a lot of thought goes into doing this, but so much is required. And it all starts really with your breathing, because the moment you panic, right, you overly exert yourself, and like metabolically in 45 to 60 seconds, the lactate, you're done. So let's close it out. Let the people know where they can find and learn more about you, and I'll do the same.
Yeah, I don't have any pool videos, but maybe I'll get on the BJ train and make some pool videos.
Too much fucking pool content.
No, dude, you have so much, dude. There's
that 10 people enjoy it, but that's all right. The 10 people engaging with it are fucking living their best life.
No, this is where it starts, right here. All my social shit, it's just Jeremy Scott Fitness everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, our podcast is Jeremy Scott Fitness, the website, you name it. It's everywhere. We're pumping out stuff all the time. The app is that too. We got a bunch of BJ stuff in there. It's good shit. Most of you guys probably know that, but if not, you should get on it.
I appreciate that, brother. And best place to follow me is youtube.com/BJ Gaddour. I get out at least 3 to 4 new pieces of content a day. All of my top programs with ads available, including this abs trainer. You can get it ad-free, obviously, at Jeremy's app, which he mentioned too. And but if you want to, access the content with ads, youtube.com/BJ Gaddour, plus all my pool content, sled content, all my stuff. Man, there's so much stuff there, and I it's literally like a full-time job for me. So I'd really appreciate a subscribe means a lot. So would love your support over there.
Like, share, subscribe. Boom.
Yeah. Men don't do it, but we have to keep asking.
No, it's painful, dude. And if you listen to this podcast, just drop it wherever you listen to it. Just drop it a 5-star and leave a comment. Like just anything. Just say thanks. Like it really is that simple, everybody. And but that's what baffles me. Like thousands and thousands of people, and it's like you get a fraction of just the feedback. And again, I'm terrible at it too, but I'm getting better as I get older. I'm like, you know what? Let me like this. Let me give it a little star and leave a little note. So I'm getting better too. So reciprocate, everybody. We appreciate it.
It always comes back to you. It always comes back. So, guys, thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this summer installment of Two Old Men, Two Old Fit Men, making 60-year-old women wet.
Yeah, well, it'll be we'll do it for surely each quarter, if not more often, for sure. I appreciate it.
All right, guys, enjoy.